All right. Welcome back to another episode. It's only been, I think, one day since I streamed last, but still it feels like it's been quite a while. The days are just flying by, I guess. So we are back on our solo self-found hardcore cleric this time. Our last episode was mostly working on gear and stuff. I did get two wrist slots with +3 wisdom, the polished bone bracelet from Gorger King Zorb on our last session, and I finished the Testament of Veneer questline during our last session. Between the sessions, I did go ahead and finish the camp that we started last time, which was the Mammoth Hide Cloak. While I was there, I also got the Mammoth Hide Legs, both of which are drops from the Goblin Alchemist in Permafrost. It's kind of a boring camp, so I wanted to try to knock it out off stream if I could. It's literally a room with 2 goblins, both of which are like green to light blue for my level. And the Alchemist is like a 16-minute respawn, so you're just sitting there killing 2 goblins. Not compelling stream content, you know what I mean? So I managed to finish those. It took me about 6 hours, but it was mostly just like semi-AFK time. I set a timer on my phone and come back and kill them right as they spawned. It is good to see you guys in the chat. Big Keebs, Randy, Magic, Goodman, Noob Cake, the wonderful trolley there. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming out. Just a reminder, as always, we're still working on it. The Champions of Norath stream challenge here. So if you've got some channel points, go ahead and burn them up to 2K per stream towards this. If we get 500,000 points, we will do a duo playthrough of Champions of Norath live on stream. That is the original PlayStation 2 Everquest game from way back in the day. It's kind of like a Diablo-esque game. If you haven't seen it, it is a lot of fun, and really there's not a lot of opportunity for most folks to play it these days. So it'll be nice going back and checking it out again. That said, I do stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. Monday and Friday are like this, solo self-found hardcore gameplay, where we do not group, we do not trade with players, we only loot items from mobs that we solo. All my gear is either that solo looted item, crafted gear, or quested gear that I do myself. Anything I buy from a vendor has to be from the vendor by default. And if I die, as always, we delete the character immediately. So that's the MO for this. On Wednesday and Saturday, Trolley and I do a duo stream on P99 Green, totally casual. We like to group with folks. So as always, come out if you've got a character in that kind of like 12 to 20 range. We've got a pair of characters there at different brackets that we can play with. But other than that, I guess let's jump right in. So thanks for coming out. All right, so I am still 29, but we're pretty dang close to 30 at this point. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to Unrest and finish up this level before we look at doing any more gearing. Some of the stuff that I'm thinking of would be the Ancient Croc in Upper Guck, which is a level 31 mob. I think at 30 I might be able to solo him, but at 29 it's kind of sketch. He is tough even as a 31, so I'm not 100% comfortable going at him right now. And then there's the Reckless Efreet that I've been thinking of going for in Sol A. Kind of a rare spawn, kind of deep in Sol A, so it's kind of risky to get to. But he's only level 27, and he drops a pair of arms that are arguably good for me. They actually have no AC, but it's like 3 wisdom, 3 agility or something on them. I think it's the Platinum Armband. I could be wrong, but you guys know what I'm talking about. Fat Sacks, I talk about lore every single stream. So whenever you want it, just request it with your channel points down there. Or if you don't have any channel points, you can just ask it in chat anyway, and we'll get you sorted out. Yeah, Diva, it is a long spawn timer. So I might go there and mess with that at the end of the stream. We'll see. I'm interested in the item for sure, even though it's a big AC loss for me. But I think Ancient Croc would be a better time investment right now. What's going on, Inner Circle Gaming, aka Big Medusa? Yeah, we just got started here a few seconds ago. Well, a few minutes ago, I guess, at this point. Right now, I'm headed to Unrest to wrap up level 29. Get that big 30. It'll be a really, really nice benchmark for this character. Monty, how's it going, dude? Back on Mangler here. I can actually use my maps again. Feels good. Not necessary, but it's like checking your watch. You know what I mean? You know what time it is, but like you just compulsively check every 5 minutes. That's how I am, at least. So pull up the map, even though I'm pretty confident in my directions. Oh, 6-hour dev stream. That's rough. The first hour is probably kind of like cool, but 6 hours? I don't envy you. So another thing, since the last hardcore stream, if you mostly just check out the solo self-found stuff, I did get a new monitor, so you'll notice some of my UI elements and stuff were moved around. Most obviously, the camera was dropped down because we have a bunch of extra space along the bottom of the screen now. Feel free to leave some feedback on what you guys think of that. Improvement, downgrade, whatever. Always looking to tighten things up around here. Revs, how's it going, dude? Oh, okay, so you're just like doing it live pretty much, Monty, right? Fat Sacks, anything known about Siren the Lunatic? And big trolley streams hooking you up with the points because she's feeling generous, I guess. Trolley, don't forget to put your points in towards that Champions of Norath stream too. Alright, so Fat Sacks, Siren the Lunatic, actually known as Neris, is a halfling who hails, like most halflings, from Rivervale. He was one of the halfling guards at some point, we can surmise, because one of the code words you have to say to him to progress through Plane of Sky is, I am one with the wall, which is a phrase closely associated with the Rivervale Guard, as they guard that wall out there in Misty Thicket, preventing the evil eyes and goblins from overrunning the city. Now, he has gone mad, but we're not sure if that was part of something that happened in his mortal life on Norath, or if that was something that happened after he was chosen by Vishan and ascended to the Plane of Sky. Either way, he ended up being chosen, and he's now part of the followers of Vishan. So basically what happens with the Plane of Sky is particularly exceptional mortals who reach almost a demigod status for whatever reason are uplifted either by Vishan or one of her representatives to be in the Plane of Sky and kind of administer trials to the denizens of Norath who get to Plane of Sky. And Neris, or Siren as we see him, serves as kind of like the guide, the ferryman, if you will, as you traverse the plane. He is a lunatic, like his name says, but yeah, we don't really know how that happens, and I don't think we ever get any deeper story on that. So that's kind of that. Yeah, Noob Cake, the EXP is rough. The best thing to do is just get a couple hours, get a solid group, and grind it out and never look at your EXP bar. That's what I think anyway. But remember, Noob Cake, one of the best ways to level on P99 is turning in quest items and stuff, so I think you're in GFA, right? Crushbone Belts will still be killer, but it would almost be worth it to go to Kanos just to do the Nullfangs, because they are really, really, really great EXP, like all the way up to 20, 25-ish in that range. You can level really quickly. Fat Sacks, thanks for the follow. Very much appreciated. Alright, so I was bound in Unrest for like several weeks as we leveled this character up, and you guys remember I got so overweight with gear while we were camping the Evil Eyes last session that I finally bound myself in Gorge of King's Orb so I could Origin and then gate back. And of course, right after I did that, we got the last item we needed there, making the bind pretty much pointless. So we have to do this not too long of a run, but definitely a risky run for us. We could run into like an Aqua Goblin Title Lord, which could potentially spell the end of the run for us. So I try to avoid going through Dagnor's Cauldron as much as possible. Zyathin, how's it going, dude? Zyathin, thanks so much for that gifted sub. Monty, enjoy your collection of dumb Everquest emotes that I made. Please spam them whenever you feel so inclined. Zyathin, that might have popped you back into the #1 spot for gifted subs, I'm not sure. You're tied now. Big Zyathin, the madman with 40 gifted subs over the life of the channel. Yeah, I'm sorry, man. Very sorry to hear about that. Big Pied with the crazy Tier 3 sub. Pied, what's going on, dude? Thank you so much. Tier 3 subs are literally insane. Now I've got to add some custom Pied only emotes just for you. It's competitive out there, Medusa. But no, you know, I expect nothing, and everything is always appreciated and stuff. I'm really just here for the fun and for the community. That's really what it is for me. So I'm not too worried about anything like that. There's exactly what I should have been looking for. I think we'll be good though. We're pretty close to unrest at this point. I might be able to just solo this dude too. Level 24. This is what I get for paying attention to chat. Yeah, there's unrest right there. What's going on, Pitten? Good to see you. Tyrus, I don't play on Air Dune right now, though my friends are trying every day to get me to go over there. I do have a level 50 mage that I leveled up there, and a level 50 mage that I deleted there, so I guess I don't have that second one. But yeah, I've got some characters over there. I just haven't played in a long time. He shoots me for 1. My guy has a bow. I guess let's see what we can do against this. I do have Wrath on my bar, so... As you guys watch, you're going to see every now and then my shield will pop up on my arm instead of the Testament of Veneer. I have a Bandolier macro that I created so that I can immediately swap to my shield just for a split second, long enough for me to execute the bash and then put back on my mana gear. Oh, PoE. Dude, I got a lot of friends doing PoE right now. I'm not into it personally, but I mean, it must be good. Everyone goes hard when the new league starts every couple months, right? How often do they do new PoE leagues? Happy Monday, Arvis. It feels weird for me as a Monday because I happen to have today off. The Water Ring for a mage quest. No mages here. Sorry. Yeah, I have today off for Martin Luther King Jr. Day. So, enjoyed it. Enjoyed my day off. I actually, as you guys know, I had a bunch of time off relatively recently. And now I am back to work full time starting tomorrow. So, sweet, I guess. Frank, what's going on, man? Uh-oh. Fat Sacks gave out 2 tier 1 community subs. Thanks, Fat Sacks. Very much appreciated. Fat Sacks starting that hype train up early in the stream. Much appreciated. So League is a lot like Diablo, right? It's Arcane. How are you doing, man? I recently wrapped up my my viewing of Cobra Kai. What was it, season 3, I think, that just came out? And in celebration, Trolley got me this shirt, this Cobra Kai shirt. I'm really digging it. So Arcade, thanks for the 10 bits. Enjoy that Froglock Ghoul animation that pops up. I'm not super crazy about it. Why is his arm so long? I don't know. Oh, okay. This time it was 4 months. Was that like COVID related, them doing that delay, or did it just work out that way? It's all out war now here, folks. Pied with the 10 gifted subs. Pied, you're a madman. We leveled up, I guess. Got that big ding in the chat. I can't even keep up with chat right now. I need to read faster. Inner Circle, it is, my watch isn't on. It's 8:30 for me, just about. Someone needs to link me some PoE stuff in the Discord so I can mess with it. Stop being so lazy and talking about it. Oh, no problem, Fat Sacks. Happy to do it. And if you think of any other lore questions, please hit me up. I love talking about it. It's, I'm passionate about it, so it's fun for me. Oh, it was Cyberpunk related. Fascinating. How did Cyberpunk delay the PoE League? Did they just not want to compete with the Cyberpunk launch? Yo, Tripwire, I have, speaking of swan dives, I have done it. Check out !fall. You'll see my swan dive right into a character delete, unfortunately. All right, we made it up with no aggro. What do we think, folks? Before I open the door, how many werebats? 1 through 3 werebats can be in this room right now. What do we think is going to be in there? That's crazy, Pitten. Superman. Superman, are you the same Superman that used to come chill with us? If so, good to see you. If not, nice to meet you. There's like Lore of Norath. It's a good website to reference EQ lore, and it has a ton of user-submitted lore content from all the various Everquest lore resources available. The only thing you have to watch out for is it does use a lot of Everquest 2 lore, which personally I don't find is a really good source. So I try to see, you know, at the bottom they usually mention where the lore came from, and if it says Everquest 2, I take it with a big grain of salt. All right, we got some 1s, some 2s, some 3s, no 0s. I should have said the 0 was an option. Technically, it could be 0. Oh man, Superman, that's awesome. I'm glad. So yeah, for those who don't know, I was recently featured on a podcast called Everquest. I really liked it. I checked out a few of their episodes since I was, you know, going to be on it, and I love the content that they have there. And I had a lot of fun chatting with those guys. It was mostly about lore. So, that was actually the worst thing that could have possibly happened. The hag in there poses a very serious threat to us, because she can land that clutch root as we're trying to flee. So what we just had was a critical fail soothe. It's like the second one I've had on this entire 30 level run so far. So very rare and a really inopportune moment. We'll probably lose aggro on them as they try to like navigate down the stairs with their bad pathing. And I'll be good, would be my guess. I'm gonna sit here and hope that we get like at least one of them, so it's not like a total waste. All right, we lost them all. Frank, are you also playing PoE right now? I need to adjust this monitor a little bit. Gotcha. You know, I was watching a cello stream, I think last night. It was pretty interesting. The modern raids look pretty good. So the league is every 3 to 4 months, like you guys said, but people really only go hard like that first month or so, right? At least that's been my experience, like watching my friends do it. It just seems like after the first couple weeks, it's not that hot new thing anymore, and then people kind of like, you know, let it drop off a little bit. Is that what you guys have seen? Kind of like a TLP. Oh, what am I doing? I don't need to cast Wrath anymore. I got the big nukes. Big Zyathan with the 10 tier 1 gifted subs. Zyathan, thank you so much. Hype train level 4 complete. So I moved my microphone like 10 seconds before I went live, and I realized it was a huge mistake because now it like blocks one of my monitors a little bit. Ding. I guess I really did mess up by not adding the ding soundboard option for a while, because I know people wanted it, and I was like, oh, I don't want people to be spamming it too much, but it seems like folks really like it. For Sarah, what's going on, dude? Zyathan, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Honestly, I couldn't do this without all the support you guys have given me the last couple months, Zyathan, especially as one of the moderators. You put in a ton of effort. You let me bug you all the time behind the scenes about like my ideas and stuff. So thanks for taking all that time, dude. How are you doing, Versaire? Actually, I should just, well, no, I want to leave Wrath on here in case I do get something dumb. I'll just take Endure Magic off. I don't really need to keep Endure Magic on the bar. And I'm going to add my Servant of the Righteous on here. LOL, Zaide. Pizza chicken tonight. How does that work? Is it like just pizza with chicken on top, or is it chicken with pizza cut up and mixed in? Chicken with pizza toppings. My brain's not really ready for this. Keto though, that's awesome. Are you on like a keto diet right now? Well, dude, Zythan, the moment that I first became an affiliate on Twitch, Pi dropped like a big fat sub bomb immediately. The family is, gotcha. That's one of the diets that's really hard to do if the people around you are not doing it too, you know what I mean? Like I used to go on keto and then Charlie would just eat all the great food in front of me while I had to eat cheese sticks and stuff. No, but really, I did keto a few times back in the day when I was a lot more fit than this. And keto was really good to get me like that kind of last step on my diet goals, you know what I mean? All right, so we'll soothe this dude again. Watch how fast this hag's gonna die. You see that clutch move before the spell resolved? Yeah, just for now, Versaire, I want to get level 30 a little bit before we do anything, so we're pretty close. I might be able to do Lower Guck entrance now. It's something that I should go check out. Oh, that's rough, ominous, yeah. Like, because on keto, it's almost like you're cheating a little bit on your diet, too, at the same time. Like, you're eating no carbs, but the rest of the food you eat isn't necessarily, like, the healthiest thing. Level 99 Moogle, what's going on, dude? Kupo. I'm having a great day. How are you? Revs, you say I could do it easy. I was going to wait till 33 to go to Lower Guck, because that's when I get, like, my new nuke. But I'll try it after we hit ding. After we ding 30, I'll go there. And we're pretty dang close. Yeah, we're super close. You don't think they'll be any worse than perma? Level 99 Moogle with the now fresh sub badge from Zythan. Zythan, thank you so much for yet another gifted sub. Yeah, I picked up some like bad eating habits from keto. Like I didn't eat bacon ever before I went on a keto diet, and I was like, I guess I'll try it since it's like the big benefit, right, is that you can eat bacon. Yeah, the spawn in Befallen is like right at the entrance there, right? I've got to do a couple spawns in Guck anyway. I've got to do like the Fungus Mutant or whatever for Kanza the Midi. Basically, I could kill Kanza, or I could do the quest lines to get the rings from Kanza. I should check what my faction is with them, because I might not even be able to turn in the rings. I might have to camp Kanza of the Midi. Here's the crazy thing, Revs. Because I'm Bertoxilus, I'm actually KOS to the Froglocks by default. Like, Live Side hates me already. They don't have any time for the evil clerics of the world. Hit him with a sermon. Monks are good too. I don't think these monks can interrupt me unless they just beat my channeling check entirely with like white damage. They don't have a bash, so there shouldn't be any kind of stun interrupts. The quest NPC is a vendor, so you can invest a trick it. Oh, excellent. It's dubious. Dubious max bad, right? Well, that's great. Good to know that, Diva. Yeah, Zaide, then it sucks, man. I didn't realize I was KOS to start until I went over there to work on my Linuga faction, and I was like, every time I would sit down to meditate between like Slayer captains, one of the Froglocks would come over and smack me. It was a lot of not fun. Hey, Richie, you know. Strike first, strike hard, no mercy. Here's the thing though, which Cobra Kai are you? You know what I mean? Are you Johnny Cobra Kai or are you Priest Cobra Kai? All right, chat, what do we think? What is this 3 mana gonna, or this 3 wisdom generate for me? 915 to 932. So 17 mana or 10 magic resist. Which would you pick? For a while now, I have been selecting 10 magic resist. J-Rocks, thanks for the follow. Big J-Rocks, are you one of Admiral Showtime's pals? I feel like I've seen you in there. I could be totally wrong. Right, that's what I've been doing. I was like, the magic resist is the thing that's going to save my life. Like 15 mana or 17 mana is kind of nice, but the spells I use now, like even my healing spell, 65 mana. So what is 17 mana really going to do for me? New. Well, it's good to meet you, J-Rocks. Every little bit helps, Versaire, but I mean, for what elements I can control, magic resist is about all I got. You know what I mean? So we control what we can and deal with the rest, I suppose. That's true, Moogle. Well, no sense in waiting for these to all like respawn. I guess I should be binding my wounds. Dang, Frank the Bank calling me out right now. Kreese gets roughed up too much. Yeah, that's true. I feel like they do Kreese dirty a little bit. Like, based on his background, he should have been a superior combatant. Like, better than what we see. Like, Mr. Miyagi just beats him up with, like, one hand, you know what I mean? So the mob that I have to kill in Guk, the fungus mutant or whatever, is a druid, I want to say, which I expect is going to be like pretty dang tough to kill. Right. Dude, watching Kreese punch those windows reminded me of the like, you ever play like Street Fighter 2 on Super Nintendo, and you have the little thing between the fights where you just beat up the car, and you're just like, I really wonder what someone's going to say when they get back to their car and they find out that like a bunch of man apes have just pummeled it into pieces. Honestly, let's go just check the basement. There's like a 50-50 chance that I don't have to kill a werebat to get into the basement. Excellent. Ooh, a yellow hag too. Don't mind if I do. We'll put our good old resist buff on before we pull her, just to be safe. Ecdysozoa, thanks for the follow. I don't know how I'm supposed to pronounce your name. I hope I got it right, but I wouldn't be surprised at all if I was totally wrong. Yeah, just make sure it covers man apes. Sir, my car was hit with 3 Hadoukens. Put Endure Magic on my bar, don't even cast it. Oh, nice, I got visibility here. Ran a little too soon. Oh, that's the wrong spell. Oh, the door's closed. Getting jumped by this green pound skeleton back here. That was pretty good. It was like 5 or 10% from that kill. Oh, hey, Zaide the Hive Queen. I assume that Depths of Dark Hollow has already been beaten on Mangler, but I don't know for sure if it has been. Anyone know in chat if Mayang has already been killed? It's kind of a quick expansion. If you just go right through, you can do it in one night, I think. Would it come out like a week ago, actually, Frank? Yeah, so it should have been. But Zaide is definitely kind of a bottleneck encounter for more casual guilds, probably. Yeah, a single night makes sense, because we did it in a single night, I want to say, right? Didn't we just stay up late, Frank, and do it? No, I'm using Dismiss Undead, and oh, was I casting Strike? I might have been casting my Wrath spell. I was. I've been farming a bunch of loot, so my fingers are trained to click the wrong button right now. That raw bad habit. Yeah, assuming April. March, April, May, either one of those, I'm going to do my best to swing a new TLP launch. So, Etris, what you'll probably see, if I can coordinate things on my end in real life, is when the new TLP launches, I will do a 1 through 50 marathon stream. I might not be the first person to level 50, but I will do the full 1 through 50 stream in one sitting. Zyko, good to see you, dude. How you been? Right, yeah, Frank. Yeah, you can join whatever we're doing casually. I don't know that, my group is already full with like a wait list for my like personal 6-man, so I can't promise you that. But we're gonna do a guild on there for sure, a casual guild, and you are absolutely welcome to be a part of it. I should put the caveat though that it's gonna be a casual hardcore guild, like literally hardcore, like you delete your character or leave the guild if you die. So Psycho, I'm great, having a good day, being lazy. Thanks for your contribution to the Champions of Norath stream challenge. Westab, how can I get to level 50 in one sitting? I will sit like this and I won't move until I ding 50. That's my basic strategy in a nutshell. But really, like, you just here, I'll go over it really quick with you. I'll tell you exactly what I plan to do. So I'll have a pre-made static group with a bunch of cool dudes who have done this in the past with me. And we've already pre-selected our classes, our races, and our leveling route. We're all going to log in at the same time, and we all agreed not to stop until we're done. We're going to practice a bunch before launch just to make sure that we're smooth on our execution. And then at least a month, hopefully, before launch, I will stop drinking any kind of caffeine. I'll just only drink water. And then my plan is for the first 24 hours, I'll drink only water during the grind. Around 24 hours is when you first start to get your like first wave of like, man, I'm kind of tired. And then that's when I'll bust open the caffeine for the first time. Gilmere, thanks for that sub. 8 months, 8 big months. How are you doing, dude? So yeah, I'll break into the caffeine at the 24-hour mark. Try to eat really lean for the most part, so I don't get weighed down by food. And yeah, after that, it's just willpower. PEDs, yes. Cash override, what's going on? Here is your werewolf. I want to level fast and do it big, so I make sure we practice a lot. Oh, why is there shouldn't be like 3 spawns there, I don't think. Maybe I'm just misremembering. I think that must be a pather. Otherwise, I would have got that werebat when I pulled the hag earlier. I'm telling you. So I've done streams I haven't streamed it before, but we've done runs like that, where you drink a little bit too. And after like 2 drinks, it's already over pretty much. You know what I mean? It just messes you up a little bit, and then it's all downhill. Skip sandwiches, solo self-found. If you need an explanation a little bit more than that blurb, let me know. I'll try to go over it. But yeah, so whenever you guys hear about that new server coming out, think about this stream and make sure you check us out when we do that monster, probably like 40-hour or so stream. You can watch me be like nodding off at the keyboard. The thralls of Zaide, right? C. Goodman, I think we are actually changing our static group classes this time. I am making a big push, to the most part, against the wishes of my static group. I'm making a big push for a new class composition. I like to change things. Bootly, Lesson of the Devoted came out with Depths of Dark Hollow, or is that taboo for SSF? I'm probably not going to use it, Bootly. I could, but I don't know. Maybe I will. I don't know. What do you guys think? I feel like it would be a little cheesy. Oh yeah, Moogle, if you haven't seen the Zems, that spreadsheet's got every classic Everquest Zem for TLP servers. Skip, right now I'm on Mangler, but I play on a bunch of servers. Most of my streams are either on Mangler or P99 Green right now. Though we were just talking about when a new TLP comes out, what we're going to do. So whenever a new server comes out, we'll play on the freshest. What's going on, Hashpipe? Good to see you. Oh shit, big Nullify in the chat. Nullify said, Zay, do not tell them our static route, even though you'll be streaming it. Medusa, how long is the grind? We did 42 hours in WoW Classic. That was a struggle, however, we didn't prep like that. We drank a bit of energy drinks. It depends on the server. Eridune, I was the server first, max level there, and it was shorter than we expected. So I'll tell you this. Agnar, I was the server first 50 as well when that came out, and it took us 58 hours. 58 hours played. That was also, we took a break of leveling to go kill Finny in the middle of that, so that added a little bit. But yeah, 58 hours. Then Eridune came out, and Eridune has a faster EXP rate because of group EXP modifiers being changed behind the scenes. And we optimized our leveling route and our class composition a little bit over the years. And we did it that time in 38 hours. So we took 20 big hours off the time, which was really awesome. This next server, I think we could maybe do it in 35 hours if the EXP rate is the same. But Enchanters got nerfed, which means Enchanter DPS is lower. Enchanter DPS was about 50% of our group's DPS. So a 15% Enchanter DPS nerf is going to come out to about 7.5% DPS nerf to our entire group composition across this whole spread 1 through 50, which means in theory we will level 7.5% faster or slower than the 38 hours. So if we want to gain any time, in fact, if we want to just maintain our previous best time, we have to really hustle and carve out a little bit more optimization from the route. Liverflap, what's going on, dude? Good to see you. I don't really want to mess with that Werebat, but I bet you the Hag Tower is respawned now. And we've got to be close. Oh, we leveled. We hit up level 3, guys. Ding. I didn't even hear it. Didn't even notice. Hey. Oh yeah, if it's a non-classic start and we're doing all the way to 60, add a full 24 hours to the grind time. So if we were looking at a 38-hour, 40-hour grind, you could just add up. It go right to 65 hours probably. Hey, Liverflap, I'm glad you checked out the podcast. I really had a lot of fun on that podcast. I mean, I agreed that Enchanter DPS needed a nerf. And if you look on like FOH forums, you can see that before the server started, people were saying, hey, what class should we play? And I was like, if you want to be the most powerful class that is probably going to get nerfed sometime, like you are going to be on the chopping block, play an Enchanter. And sure enough, within like 1 or 2 months of the server coming out, they got nerfed. They were just too good. And the problem, actually, the problem with EQ isn't when a class is too good or an ability is too good. It's when too many people know that it's too good. And that has been the state of the Enchanter recently. Like, it went from like a few people realized just how OP the Enchanter was while being completely safe, to all the hardcore people realizing how OP it was, to everybody top to bottom, your casual players to your top 1% players. Everybody was like, Enchanter is super good, like no drawbacks, charm barely ever breaks. And once it got to that level, you know the nerf is coming down the pipe. And that's exactly what happened. Yeah, Inner Circle. In that group, we had one person drop out. We had to like take over their account and have somebody else. We played for them a little bit, and then we had someone else pick up the account near the end. But yeah. Juke Karkin, what's going on, dude? So we were just getting some levels. Just got the big level 30 right now. And I think we might go camp some gear. We want to go to Upper Guck, right, guys? So let's go do that, I guess. What's my best way? I'll just origin out of here. Zaide, we think so, but you know, if it gets to 65 hours, there's a pretty good chance that we'll end up taking a break or something. Hashpipe, probably March, April, or May. We haven't gotten a confirmation yet. In fact, we haven't even gotten a confirmation that there will be a server, but there just always is one, so we expect it, to be honest. Like, we're just talking about it totally on guesstimation right now. Make a leveling static tier list. What do you mean, Frank? Like people, like players, or like classes, or zones? Well, I'm glad you liked it, Liverflap. That's awesome. It's good to hear some positive feedback about it, for sure. So I've been thinking, one of the things I might do for lore content on YouTube is whenever someone does like a lore request here, you know, and I answer it, I might basically clip that out as a highlight and then put it on YouTube that way. So it's lazy still, but it gets the lore on there. I'm all about being as lazy as possible. It's crazy, Moogle. It definitely is really crazy. Yeah, Zaide, we're going to Upper Guck. We're going to do the Ancient Proc camp. But I'm going to take a pit stop on the way there, and I'm going to attempt to kill a few mobs just like in the entrance of Lower Guck. See what we could do. It really is like that, Moogle. You guys will see when I stream it this time just how bizarre it is. Like, you're on this server, right? And there are so many people that there's like a 12-hour queue just to log in. You cannot even get on the server. There's thousands and thousands of players. And every zone you're in, you are the only person there. You don't see another person, or like people will zone in. They'll be like, what the hell are you doing here? Like when we were leaving Soleil, there was a group zoning in. So we're like level 32, you know what I mean? And there was another group zoning in. They're like level 18. And they're like, they sent us a tell like, what the fuck? How are you level 30 plus right now? You know? Hashpipe, you should definitely jump in. It is a blast. Yeah, we'll do a channel guild. We'll do everything. It'll be a lot of fun. The next OP class after Enchanter, even after the Enchanter nerf, check this out. The next OP class is still Enchanter. They could have nerfed the Enchanter way harder and it still would have been the best class. It was that far above everything else. So best class is still Enchanter. The next class I would see getting a nerf. I think monks are really long overdue for a nerf, to be totally honest with you. And I say this as a monk main, but I think monks are a little bit overdue for a nerf. All right, we have 400 platinum. Let's take our negative charisma ring off here. Save up our rubies for Big Linuga. No, 424 plat. What happened to all my plat? All right, we'll buy 2. I should go bank these really quick. Nah. I'll just hit a bank in POK as I'm running through. make a leveling static tier list. Frank, I want to do it, but I need you to explain to me what the tier list is on. Oh, okay, I got you. Like classes. I would love to do a team PvP server, Etris. Yeah, so it's really fun to do a TLP. Whenever a TLP launches, whatever your EverQuest plans are, you should just go do the TLP launch, at least for like the first week or two, because it's just pretty incredible to be part of that. But yeah, let me go over a tier list really quick for Frank and everybody else in the chat of classes, I think, and where they fall in statics. We're going to do the S tier. These are the classes that should be in every single static. Every single static must have these classes. Mage, Enchanter, Cleric. If you want to be like, if you're racing and you want to hit the top level first, or in like the top 5 groups, those 3 classes must appear in your group. And in fact, if you want to be the number 1 group, those would probably be your only 3 classes. That's how powerful they are. A tier, I would put Necromancer. I would, might be the only A tier class. I would put Necromancer, maybe I would put a Bard in there. Okay, maybe a Bard. B tier, I would put Monk, Shadow Knight, Paladin, maybe. Hear me out on the Paladin thing. I mean, like, the tank slot is pretty much a throwaway. It's like a carry. No matter what you do, the tank slot is a carry slot. So Warrior, Shadow Knight, you know what I mean? Like, they're all not doing what you want them to be doing. Dude, what if Linuga was up right now? And if your static group is going to spend a huge amount of time in like Unrest and Lower Guck, which you could basically do from level 8 to 50, you could do an undead route and still be in the leveling race by going Unrest to Lower Guck. Your Paladin could be pretty decent. Hey, so Arvis, we're going to be organizing a bunch of static groups like that for the next TLP. We'll be doing a ton of those. So check that out. When it's coming out, make sure you're in the Discord and I'll put together a bunch of static groups for everyone. When we did our first really hardcore EverQuest guild on Lockjaw, like the first hardcore guild that succeeded, I actually manually crafted every static group. I was like, you will group with this person and you agree to play this class and you guys will go on this leveling route to make sure that you do not conflict with the other groups that are doing this. You know what I mean? Like, I was very fine-tuned on that and people wanted to win and they just listened to me and it worked. I'm not saying that my idea was like the best idea either. People probably had better ideas than what I had, but it was just easier to have like a really top-down approach. Oh my gosh, there's another person in Upper Gut right now? So cool. But yeah, it was really easy to have a top-down approach to make sure there weren't conflicts. Otherwise, you have static groups potentially running into each other, you know what I mean? Which is never good, because you don't want to be fighting your same pals for camps. LOL, Westab, so surprised, right? Versaire, do you have a plan for your static group if people get in the queue and can't get in? Okay, yep. Versaire, yeah, the plan is every man left behind, basically. It's like the opposite of the military. If you can't get in, we just go on without you. Unfortunately, it's just the reality of the situation. Let me explain my reasoning that the Necromancer is not in the S tier. I think that the optimal path 1 through 50 no longer involves a single undead mob or a zone where you can charm undead. And the reason why Necromancer would be S tier is strictly because they can charm. And like, the weakness of the Enchanter is that the first 10 levels, they can't charm anything, right? And you think to yourself, 10 levels is very fast. That's a very small part of the leveling race. It shouldn't be a big deal. But it is a big deal because the first 10 levels is when you need to break out of the curve, the leveling curve. If you don't break out of the curve, then you're going to be stuck behind everyone else. Or you're going to be stuck with them. What I mean is, like, let's say Upper Guck, right? If you are in the curve, when you get to Upper Guck, there are 3, 4, 5 other groups hitting Upper Guck at the same time as you, and you guys are all competing for the very same mobs, more or less. the only way to ensure that you're ahead of the curve is to have a hyper optimized DPS heavy group right from the gate, right out of the gate, and just crush it as soon as you hit the ground, to break that curve very early. Once you've broken out of the curve, people rarely will ever catch you again. So it's super important to be there. The reason Necromancer is good because they start at level 1 with the pet, and then later on they can charm. So they make up for that weakness that the Enchanter has, but they can only charm undead, which means you have to build your route around the Necromancer. At the very least, you've got to do lower Guck. Ideally, you do Unrest and lower Guck. The problem is it puts you in a weaker starting position if you want to do Unrest, because I don't think Unrest is really optimal. Like if you want to do the lower Guck route, ideally you go upper Guck to lower Guck so you never move, because anytime you're traveling is a time that you are not grinding. So making that run from Fadewar, Unrest, literally the one end of Fadewar all the way to lower Guck, is the time that another group is going to gain like 1 or 2 levels on you. And if it's a group that went to upper Guck and they gain those levels on you, they're literally going to be in bedroom when you get there and your camp's already gone. You know what I mean? Like, it's that crazy. So for that reason, I put Necromancer in A tier instead of S tier. Liverflap, yeah, we'll do a TLP guild, but it's going to be like that hardcore guild I've been talking about. Oh, no, Pin, this is for like static group tiers, like static group racing tiers. Honestly, like all the healers, it's almost like everybody except for those classes I already talked about are just kind of like B tier. And then the F tier classes we'll talk about are Wizard, Rogue, what are the other classes? I don't even, you know what I mean? Like I can't even think of them. Wizard and Rogue are definitely the 2 worst ones. When I build static groups, I try to, like if you were doing it from a guild perspective, you would try to build static groups this way. There would be 4 classes that are built to level fast, and then there would be between 1 and 2 classes that are carries. And that's because like at the end of the day, the guild needs you to have certain classes ready, like warriors, shadow knights, you know, like tanks, things that are not good at leveling, but you need them to raid content effectively. And those are your classes that you carry up. And then there's always like 1 or 2 assholes who roll a rogue. Looking at you, Koro, if you ever see this. Zythan, if when it gets announced, we should set up a channel and or Google Doc to let people play. Yes, absolutely, we will do that. We'll use a Google Doc and there'll be a big spreadsheet with every group lined out and group needs and, you know, what class everyone wants to play or is willing to play. So I think Shaman and Druid are about as good as one another because like primarily they're going to be the healing guys, and your static groups never need Spirit of Wolf because everyone is using run speed potions, so Spirit of Wolf is just totally off the table. I do have a few rubies on me, Bootly. Yeah, but the paladin gets those big undead nukes, you know? Yeah, Liverflap, you can have a casual static group. You guys just have to be very real about it. Like, the reason casual static groups have a hard time is because you guys will agree, like, hey, I can play 6 hours a day. You can play 6 hours a day. All right, relatively casual. We're all going to get together. And then there's going to be like one dude who's like actually got 8 hours a day and he logs in those extra 2 hours and out levels the static group. And he's the cleric. And then suddenly your group of people doesn't have a cleric in it. You know what I mean? That's what happens with those static groups. So you have to have people that you trust and are serious about only grinding their static group character at the agreed upon times. Otherwise it ruins it. Because if one person messes it up, it hurts the entire 6-man squad. Right, okay, yeah. So Frank said Gorgasm, and he did Cleric, Warrior, Paladin, Bard, Enchanter. I can tell you the double Enchanter is very tough, right? Because the first levels where you do not have charms suck. And you do fall behind. Yitrium, thanks for the follow. Geez, I'm like 3+ minutes behind on chat, guys. Taku the cat. Love the podcast. Might go back and check out the previous stuff too. Yeah, so I watched their podcast. I listened to their podcast with Mayor Goth. It was really good. I liked his podcast. And he's also a streamer here, so if you see him, check him out. I haven't really personally talked to him, but I watch his stream every now and then, just kind of as a lurker, and I enjoy it. happy to give you guys some tips. Yo, check out this. Scowl's ready to attack. Feels very bad, dude. Let's try this. No buffs, none needed. Let's just nuke him out. He's level 28. Ranger, actually, I think Ranger is actually good. So here's the thing. On the static group dynamic, right? Your pooler is... Your tank class is also your pooler and is sometimes DPS. It works the same. So if you are a Shadow Knight, a Paladin, a Warrior, a Monk, or a Ranger in a static group, you are the pooler and you are DPS. Tanks are not needed. You have an Enchanter in there, and the Enchanter pet is actually tanking 90% of the content. This guy's actually going to kill us. The Enchanter pet is the tank of the group, no matter what class you are. The only thing those other tank classes are going to do, like specific tank classes, is if a charm breaks, they're gonna get aggro on the mob, so it doesn't kill the Enchanter. But the reality is the Enchanter will probably be fine, even without a tank there to be a buffer. So all those other classes that are melee classes are actually just poolers. Same thing for a rogue. A rogue is just a pooler. The reason the rogue is so much worse is because the rogue the rogue is lower DPS those times it is in camp, and it's squishier, and it has no get out of jail free cards. You know, basically it brings nothing to the table, just like the warrior. I guess we'll just go to the ancient crop right now. Just like the warrior, it brings nothing to the table, but the warrior at least has more HP. It has taunt. It's going to have like berate or whatever the warriors get nowadays in classic, and it's going to have a little bit better HP and AC stats going on. You know what I mean? So the rogue really brings nothing to the table. The ranger DPS could actually be kind of all right, depending on what weapons you happen to luck yourself into. Again, like, remember, if you build a static group and there's melee in it, and you start saying like, okay, we'll go here because we can get our warrior or our ranger or our rogue this cool item as we're leveling up, you've already messed up. You should honestly plan to hit level 50 100% naked. Like, that would be the plan. And that's why casters are so powerful, because they don't really have much power loss, especially in the era of focus effects not being in classic anymore. You don't lose anything by being a caster and being totally naked. It's just mana, right? But your total mana amount is actually not important, because you're never starting a fight at full mana and blowing your whole mana bar. And everyone's going to have the same mana regeneration rate at the end of the day. So for that reason, casters are strong, because they're the same strength, and it's a very high level of strength all the way across the spectrum with gear. And if you camp any gear on the way there, you're just slowing yourself down 100%. Your camp selection should always be about mob density, mob HP, zone experience modifier. Those are the only 3 factors that matter. If you happen to get good gear, that's great. But I would bet that even when you do get the good gear, it doesn't even help you. You know what I mean? Like, when you kill Ghoul Lord and get the yak and you're like, oh sweet, and you got an FPSS, even if you hit like the perfect RNG of excellent gear as you grind to 50, you got the enameled black chest plate, you got the FPSS, you got 2 moonstone rings, and you got the yak and the SSB all back to back, right? It's not going to shave even 10 minutes off your time. It's crazy. That's how unimportant gear is. All right, I missed a million lines of chat while I was on that giant rant. So if you had anything really important that you wanted me to get to, please hit me up again. Disturbed MN, this is Zaide from Faceless. Tripwire, welcome. I wouldn't even expect to use Fine Steel, to be honest with you, man. I guess you'll probably get Fine Steel on the way up. You know what I mean? It'll probably happen. You know what? If you go to Soul A, you'll get Fine Steel by like level 15. It's crazy. Level 20. Right, Frank, it's the worst. You need the wizard. But you go in understanding that your wizard group is not your first group to 50. I can tell you this too. If I was racing another guild maybe in a classic launch, and No, I won't even go there. I won't even go there. But I'll say this. You want your wizards and your static groups to be someone that you really trust, because if they don't make it, suddenly you don't have a way to do open world, Plane of Hate, or Plane of Sky. And it's a big problem to just, you know, on the back end have to suddenly level a wizard box up suddenly. Disturb, that's awesome, dude. Who were you on Vulak? Login is indeed the hardest boss of the TLP launch. Melee will need magic weapons. There used to be an exploit Taiku where if you used the cash shop like illusion items on your weapon, it would give them magic status. I think that got fixed. Yttrium, no, Druid and Wizard ports are never a factor in leveling in terms of determining your leveling speed and route. I'll tell you this. What I would do before I put a Druid in my group, I would pay for every one of my group members to buy a race change potion. If it was like the optimum leveling route required us to port all the way around the world to hit a dungeon at the right level benchmark, I would instead be like, guys, I'll just put in $100 and we'll all race change Gnome at level 30. You know what I mean? Ender, the paladin fell in the lava. You could do !fall to see his unfortunate conclusion. All right, let's get some buffs on here. I don't think these guys are KOS to me. I could be wrong though. I don't need Endure Magic killing these things, fortunately. You know, I don't even use Yelp anymore. I should take that shit off the bar. It's just the paladin in me that tells me I need to keep it there. Yeah, the first rip is the OG Pally. Any more questions about static group stuff? Because I love ranting about that too. Happy to miss another 10 lines of chat while I go on a diatribe. So yeah, sum it all up. S rank, Mage, Enchanter, Cleric. A rank, Necromancer. B rank, Monk, Shadow Knight, Paladin, Ranger. Everything else, boom. Well, you know what? B rank, also Druid and Shaman. Also A rank, I'd put Bard. Everything else is, you know, not worth rolling. Ender, every single server, someone tells me that they're gonna do the AoE route, and they give me like all these spreadsheets and they crunch all the numbers and they tell me how they're gonna do it, and I say like, I'm excited to see you try it. I'm gonna do a pet group, and the AoE group never works out. I've never seen it. I've seen it attempted like 6 times. Even on Cello, when we had like the deep open from launch, the AoE initial grind group fails. I don't know why it fails because I'm not gonna attempt it, but it just doesn't work. Yttrium. Yeah, what buffs do we keep up? I skip a huge amount of the buffs. Like I don't do like lesser shielding and all that crap. Even though I'm pulling, I usually don't do all the shielding lines. I get cleric buffs and I get mana buffs like clarity line, and then I use the speed potions from the store, and that's it. All right. What are these guys? 27, 2 level 27s. They're probably so close together that I can't really split them too. Try the big column over here. What is the best duo for leveling and grinding? The best duo for leveling and grinding on a TLP server, Zamir? If it's not Enchanter Cleric, then it's probably like Necromancer. But remember, duoing is super nerfed. Anything but a full group is very bad on TLP servers because the group EXP modifier is huge. Well, P99 is a little bit different, Etris, because Quest EXP is really good there. So I would really emphasize Quest EXP opportunities like Goblin Ears, Knoll Fangs are really good. Paw Scrolls from Split Paw Knolls are also really good. They recently changed P99 Zems. I think Gorgia King's Orb and Paw are 2 incredible zones to level in. If you want to get rich while you level up, go to High Keep. You'll make like thousands and thousands of plat as you level there. A full group of necromancers. I mean, it would be dope, I guess, Moogle, but the problem is it would be weaker than a full group of mages. You know what I mean? So why wouldn't you do the mages? And as someone who has done a full group of mages, I can tell you there are some weaknesses to the group. All right, here we go. Let's calm the back one. You know, my swimming skill is not great. Like, if this goes poorly, it's a wrap. I don't even know if those guys are social. Like, he might have just been fine regardless. Demetrium. Is whole leveling optimum? Actually, I would say no. And we don't slow anything pretty much the whole run unless it's a particular named mob that spawns in our route. We don't really slow a single mob. Because slow is relatively mana intensive, and there's just better things to use your mana on most of the grind. We're really killing mobs like a blender, and since our pets are the ones taking the damage, they regenerate so quickly that mob damage is irrelevant unless it's sufficient to kill. This is really bad. But yeah, mob damage is basically totally irrelevant unless it's sufficient to kill the charm pet. Okay, there we go. I'm going to be a cleric specialized in evocation. Hype. Prediction started. Uh-oh. What are my mods doing? Yeah, Monk Shaman is a great duo, especially if you're on P99 or Shadow Knight Shaman. Etris, my solo Necro, I think I started at like 20. Guard Blail is like the lowest level guard in the zone, and he's on like a really fast 2 or 5 minute timer. You can farm him solo and level up on him, and then just move room to room as you become more powerful, usually when you get a new pet. So the pets... Oh no, they nerfed the quest EXP dabs? That actually sucks, man. I don't know what Hassan Piker is, but I'm interested in checking it out, Liverflap. Can you send me something? Do you remember the Everquest trading card game was in the game? Oh, heck yeah, Tripwire. I do remember that. And you used to get these sick illusions from it. Yo, Tripwire, check this out. I actually have a pack of physical Legends of Norath cards. Let me see where they're at. I think they're on the desk behind me. But yeah, I have a promo pack that was given out at a fanfare a long time ago of the physical Legends of Norath cards. Would I sell it? I would not sell it. I apologize. If I had two, I would give one away for free on the stream, though. Which is a good time to plug the fact that the second Friday of every month, we do a real loot giveaway, which involves me randomly selecting someone with little RNG generator to win a piece of real Everquest loot. So last time it was the Gold Edition tin. You guys might have seen it. It's a big golden box. And next time, who knows what it could be. Could be an action figure. Could be the Kunark big box, the Velius big box. Could be a cloth map. Could be one of the EQ RPG tabletop books. All sorts of things. That's a wrap. Yeah, me too, Trip. If you have a bunch of cool stuff, feel free to send me some pictures of it. I always love seeing people's EverQuest collections. Dude, look at this. Look at this horrific skin just laying on here. Is this asset used anywhere else? I think this is like here in Najena, and that's it. Like the crocodiles just ate someone's whole back and left the front. So thin, right? They like really, they just didn't want the skin. Any lore requests in the chat? Oh, New Cake, did you restart as a Necromancer? The two-handers are really, really good. Two-hander is the way to go for those early pets, because they can't dual wield, but if you give them a two-hander, they retain their one-hand slash speed, their default delay. But they do whatever the damage is on the two-hander, so you get them a big fat two-hander like a halberd or something, and they'll be swinging for like 20 damage. Big Zythan, thank you for yet another gifted sub. Totally crazy. So many gifted subs this session. I think we have had like 27 gifted subs. Let me check. Is it one of the books I have right here, Frank? I set aside a book to get this for you. Disturbed, this is on the Mangler Time Lock Progression server. Swanee redeeming that Fippy Darkpaw specific lore. Alright. Alright. Let me kill this saltwater croc and then I got you. Wait, is my oh yeah, it is. What is my goal right now, right? I do need to update it. Thank you, Zythan. Here he goes, diving for the water. And kill him. 1%. Got him with the crush. Okay, that feels good. I didn't want to waste a whole extra nuke on 1% HP. Slazik with the lore. What is there known about Inruk's curse? Okay. I might be able to answer both of those lore questions with a single book. When you say Inruk's curse, you mean the Shadow Knight epic, right? Zimerix with the Null Slayer lore. All right, some good lore questions here. Fippy Darkpaw lore. I'll jump in that right now really quick. So Fippy Darkpaw is part of the Sabertooth Gnolls, which are in Blackborough, right? We know that super easy. They used to control the larger area, which is known as Ocean Green. That's what the Karanas used to be called before the humans came and established Kanos and kind of dominated the region. The Blackborough Gnolls were not always evil, though they have recently become actually like evil aligned. So like most Gnolls, by default, they worshipped Brel because Brel created the Gnollish race. However, the Gnolls and the humans tried to have a peace accord at some point, right? When the leader of the Sabertooth tribe was known as Opala, the High Shaman. You'll recognize her name from the item Paw of Opala. That is literally her paw. Boom. So you could tell right away that things didn't go well for Opala. Basically, she went to sign the peace agreement with a representative from Kanos, and a certain guard captain who existed back then, but is no longer, was never actually in the game, but he was guard captain Multor, instead cut her hand off, ending the peace agreements and creating an eternal enmity between the Darkpaw, not the Darkpaw clan, but the Sabertooth clan and Kanos. For her part, Opala cursed him and his whole family line forever, right? So hundreds of years of conflict later, the Sabertooths are led by the Darkpaw clan, which is a subset of the Sabertooth Gnolls. The leader of the Darkpaws is Tranix. Tranix has come to worship Bertoxilus and learned necromancy. Now, how did this happen? Check it out. So, in order to limit the economic strength of the Gnolls, which are their direct adversary, right? They're on like a constant war status, the humans of Kanos and the Sabertooth Gnolls. So, to limit the economic strength of the Darkpaw clan and the Sabertooth Gnolls, Kanos created a law that banned Blackborough Stout, which is a famous brew the Gnolls make using snake venom. That's why there's all those snakes in Blackborough. That's why they literally have a snake pit, right? So they banned Blackborough Stout. Naturally, the Rogues Guild, the Circle of Unseen Hands in Kanos, continue to sell Blackborough Stout under the table because it's a very strong and very specific brew. Now, they're getting their stuff from Nasher Furgut, a named Gnoll, and it goes through that dude in the tavern, the Fish's Ale in South Kanos. You deal with him when you have the Moonstone questline from the Nullfangs. But anyway, I digress. The fact that the Nulls had to start dealing with the humans under the table to sell their Black Barrow Stout in order to afford things like weaponry and all the other necessities they have means that they inadvertently were introduced to the Bloodsabers, right, through all those connections. The link between the Bloodsabers and the Black Barrow Nulls spread the worship of Bertoxilus, the power of dark magics, and yeah, McNeil Jacob, thank you. The power of Bertoxilus, the power of dark magics, with the Nulls, particularly with Tranix Darkpaw, who is the leader of the Dark Plot clan. So I think in-game, Tranix will harm touch you if you fight him. I think he's a Shadow Knight in-game, but in the canon, as presented by the EQ RPG books, he is a Necromancer. And I mean, yeah, that's it. So Fippy, I know yours was about Fippy specifically, but really Fippy is just the youngest member of Clan Darkpaw. He's still eager and he rushes towards Kanos to try to conquer it every day. You know what I mean? He does have custom text that he says about conquering the city. He says like, Clan Darkpaw has conquered Kanos in the name of the Sabertooth Gnolls. Flee for your lives, pathetic humans, if he makes it to the South Kanos zone line, and then he just stands there and waits for guards to arrive and eventually kill him. But yeah, so there is your Fippy Darkpaw lore. I hope you enjoyed it. All right, goal level 30. No, goal ancient proc. Level 29. Nay, level 30. 309. Visionary Realms got me writing their lore yet. Please, Visionary Realms. I'll do it for free. Let's not talk about it, actually. Oh, hey, Zithax. What's going on, dude? Big Zithax in the chat. Frank has a question. Oh, here's a question. How do you feel about the linear nature of, let's say, the Shaman Warrior epics, where it is exactly where to go on who to see versus Pal Channer epics that gives you so little information to go on? I think it's way better to have the epics be more cryptic, because they're supposed to be epic. Now, like when you look at the Warrior epic, though, even though it's more straightforward, it is kind of a big hassle. Like you need a hand off. You need a hand from Plane of Hate. You need multiple dragon scales. You know what I mean? There's a lot going into that, and I know a bunch of other epics have the same thing. Certainly, the Enchanter epic is not easy. And I guess Paladins need something from both dragons too. But yeah, I think in general, the more cryptic the epic quest is, as long as it's kind of logical, like when you're done at the end, you say, okay, it makes sense. I think the better it is. So, do other Gnolls think of Fippy as a hero or a loser? He never wins. I think they think of him as a martyr, but I say that baselessly. I'm gonna have to take a longer second on Slazik, so I hope Slazik doesn't mind. I did see a Gnoll Slayer question though. So Zamer, the original Gnoll Slayer was basically just a longsword with a special name. When you got it from Martin Sayer, it wasn't even a magical sword. It had no bane damage. There was no additional quest for it to make it more powerful. So the original sword was really just a Sayer family heirloom passed down the line and given to you, and there was nothing special about it. Everything about like the bane damage Gnoll and getting the gem to add so it could summon a pet, that was all kind of like retconned into it. Yeah, but Zithax, did you do the Enchanter epic without looking anything up? Maybe that would have been epic, dude. Thank you, Zythan. Well, remember, originally the Paladin epic was like half done, and they never finished it during Classic. You were supposed to be able to complete the Fiery Avenger and everything through the two dudes in Wrath Mountains. That was like supposed to be like a big key part of the quest line, and they just never got around to finishing it. And then they went back, scrapped the original intended quest, and then built what we now know as the Fiery Avenger quest line. Etris, it depends on what class race combination you are. As a Gnome Necromancer, you might. Your best bet is just going to be conning one of the Dwarf Guards in Butcher Block Mountains. If you're not KOS, you should be fine. But also hunting in Crushbone should help you out with that faction, I think. I didn't see all the interviews, entertainment. It wouldn't surprise me though. Sorry. What I was saying was Trolley was going to grab me this book, the Everquest Dungeon Master's Guide, so I can help answer Slazik and Frank's other questions. Zithax, this is Mangler, but I do stream P99 on Wednesdays and Saturdays. I do a duo stream with my wife. Syllabic, thank you for contributing to the Champions of Norath stream challenge. So the Dungeon Master's Guide, I'm pretty confident has like a little bit of additional lore for every epic quest. And since I didn't memorize them all, I can look some up here really quickly. How are you liking Rizlona, Zithax? You guys are getting ready for Luckland right now, right? Like 2-ish weeks? Taking a break before Luckland, okay. You gonna poop sock Straw Temple pretty hard? Yeah, Charlie's like playing Dead Space next to me right now. Man, this respawn timer is longer than I thought. You know, I think the Ancient Croc spawn is actually weird in that it doesn't respawn until all the mobs that were there are killed. Because like when he pops, he will take up the full spawn. Like there won't be any additional adds or anything. And sometimes you'll get like 3 or 5 crocodiles. So I think it actually doesn't even start the respawn timer until you kill the final one. A lot like Payneal, if you've ever done like decaying skeletons or fire beetles in Payneal, they spawn in 3s. And if you kill 2, they will never respawn until you kill the 3rd one. What does the wife think about EQ, Etris? She likes it a lot. She has had a few level 60 characters, and she is currently playing on P99 Green Wednesdays and Saturdays with me, so she enjoys it. Yeah, that's where I'm at, Zithax. I play very casually now. Yo, yeah. Trolley has she has street cred. Alright, we're looking for Inruk's Curse and the Fiery Avenger. There's a whole like subplot with Erectil in here. Alright, check this out. Slazik, I hope you're still here. Inruk's Curse. The great sword known as Inruk's Curse carries with it a tale of tragedy suitable to the dark forces and magic surrounding this powerful weapon. Centuries ago, a pair of brothers in Freeport, Laronk and Glonor, both showed deftness in the way of the warrior. Where Glonor followed the path of Nathaniel Mar's holy order, Laronk was content battling his enemies without the restraints of God or honor. Where Glonor sought nobility and integrity, Laronk longed merely for the blood of his enemies and the grim satisfaction that came with each brutal victory. So, if I remember correctly, Laronk, when we encounter him in-game, is an Ixar ghost, right? In City of Mist. Am I crazy? LOL, Zithax and Etris just realizing you guys are guildmates in chat. Yo, Zithax, what did you change? What did you guys change the guild name to? Because I know you guys changed in Velius, right? You're no longer isekai adventurers? It is said that the brothers both cast a fond eye upon the same woman, Kyrena, priestess of Nathaniel Mar, whose kindness and compassion were as evident as her beauty. The brothers pursued her in their own unique ways, Laurent offering up items and gifts from his bloody conquests, Glonor seeking to prove his honor to her through chivalrous deeds and acts of charity. Kyrena's heart, perhaps understandably, was won by Glonor, and the two were soon promised to wed upon Nathaniel Mar's next holy moon. When Laurent heard of this arrangement, he flew into a seething rage, returning from his most recent battle to confirm the rumors that had reached his ears. He immediately challenged his brother to a duel. If he could not win Kyrena by wooing, he would take her over the dead body of his own brother. Alright, we have 2 crocs, I'll get them in a second. After many attempts to calm his brother's fury, Glonor was forced to pick up a sword in self-defense. Battle was surprisingly brief, however, culminating in Glonor taking from his maniacal brother his dignity as well as one of his eyes. Shamed and disfigured, Laurent wandered the deserts of Ro for years, roaming among the crazed madmen and hermits. Here, his anger and bitterness festered until Inruk cast an eye upon him and ushered him easily into the way of hatred. Norat's first human Shadow Knight was born. Seems very sketch to me. In areas where the EQRPG guides conflict with what we know from in-game stuff, I like to favor the game. Obviously, like, game canon is like tier 1, but we'll continue. It's not too much longer. The Prince of Hatred was so pleased with his handiwork that he gifted Laurent with a terrible sword, Inruk's Curse. Over the years, Laurent grew in power, using the sword to cut a swath through enemies and innocents alike, like a scythe through wheat. Nothing could stand against him, and little was denied him. When Laurent had reached the pinnacle of might granted by his all-consuming hatred, he returned to Freeport to claim the one thing that had evaded his grasp over the years, Kyrena. Traveling from shadow to shadow and through the underbelly of Freeport, Laurent crept into his brother's quarters and slew him from ambush. Sword in hand, he stood over his fallen sibling as Glonor's eyes faded into a horrible, glassy stare. Kyrena, predictably, burst through the doors at the commotion and, seeing Glonor's body covered in blood, rushed to kneel by him. Glaring up at Laurent, she cursed the dark brother, while tears streamed unchecked down her beautiful, anguished face. Crying out for rightful vengeance, she pleaded to Nathaniel Mar on behalf of his favored knight and to Arolicimar in the name of love. Both god and goddess answered, and together the divine siblings placed a horrible curse upon Laurent. Distorted and twisted at heart, Laurent was transformed into an Ixar spirit. Okay, alright. They played the game before they wrote this. He was transformed into an Ixar spirit and exiled to a lost outpost, buried in the depths of the Kunark jungle, a Kunark jungle. Yet, with what power he had left, aided by his own god and the power of hate, Laurent summoned the Lady Kyrena to his side, binding her in the lost city alongside himself in a timeless, seamless sphere. For centuries now, he has begged her to turn from the light and give into her hatred, and to him to serve Inruk. Only then might he break the curse and be freed from his ghostly prison. The story of Laurent and his blade have been largely forgotten as time passed. Recently, however, a prophecy has begun circulating through the Narathian Temple of Light that the fair Kyrena would someday escape her captor and resurrect Glonor. Together, the two would exact strict and just vengeance upon Laurent and see the light of justice ring once more. Blah 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 blah. Inruk's curse remains in Laurent's possession as he wanders the Kunark ghost town, hoping to escape the curse and venting his terrible hatred upon the followers of the light. Although Inruk's followers seek a way to free Laurent, many are far more interested in the dark blade he carries, desiring the sword's power above all things. Some church leaders view Laurent's impulsiveness with apprehension, convinced that their own dark knights could better wield the blade and prove more useful instruments of Inruk's will. The sword itself is a massive 6-foot blade and with a 2-foot hilt. The hilt is closely wrapped in blood-red leather, which molds easily to the hand of its wielder. Set in the pommel is a carved visage of a skull. The sapphire eyes within the skull are said to gleam more brightly as the hate within the wielder grows and burns. The smooth blade glows with a dark, pulsating, reddish light when brandished by a follower of Inruk. Alright, there you go, Slazik. Some premium lore for you. I'm sure I missed like 9,000 lines of chat while I read that novel. Right? Turns out Laurent is actually Sephiroth. Little did we know. Zaide, if they decide to do another Miracle type server or even a Vox type instead of a TLP, would that ruin everything for you? Would you not even attempt any kind of run? Jukarkin, if they did another Miracle server, I would do the same thing I did last Miracle, which is like, oh, whoops, spam the wrong button there. I would go on, I would attempt to wake the sleeper with like whatever character was available, and I would kill Lady Vox, Lord Nagafin, and Finny with characters that we like had de-leveled. Because like even like Miracle, when they opened that, even though it was in level 85 content, like House of Thule, you couldn't go to the Hole or Plane of Fear or Plane of Hate, because on all new servers, like TLP flag servers, those zones are locked until Nagafin, Finny, and Vox die. So how crazy is that? They were in House of Thule and they couldn't zone into the Hole, which meant you couldn't complete any like epics. Basically, a huge number of epics involved those mobs, you know what I mean? Or mobs in those zones at least. Wasting that mana for that 0% nuke. Oh well. Fortunately for me, there's basically like no one playing Mangler, at least not at these levels. So everything's free, uncontested. It's basically my own private server. Just the way we like it. Yeah, they just opened DODH, I want to say a week ago, Zithax. Some guilds are still working on clearing Dreadspire, but I think, you know, the top couple guilds have already completed the expansion. I mean, you know, it was like a year ago that you did DODH, right? It's a one-night expansion if you pull an all-nighter. Yeah. I'd rank it as like top 3 or top 4 expansions for me. When is the Zaide private server hitting the P99 server list? Whenever the Alkabor project makes their code open source, add like 12 months. That's when me and Dino will drop our server. You think it's top 3, Frank? Or are you asking me my top 3? So Zithax, the Zaide project, I would never call it that, is I'm trying to do an EQ emulator server called EQ Complete, where basically we have gotten our hands on the original EQ design document, and we're going to try to recreate EQ Classic as it was intended to be if there weren't any timelines or funding requirements. So there's whole zones that can be added, like Meldraths and Miracle both had their own individual dungeons that were supposed to be in Classic. And then there are a few mobs like the Megalodon, Mayong Mistmore, that were either removed in beta or were never put into the game but were intended to be in the game. So there's a few little things like that, and then a bunch of quests and stuff that we also plan to add. Oh, it's in your top 3? There we go. That's what I'm talking about, Frank. So I think my top 3 are, I say this like every stream somehow. Lucklin, Gates of Discord, Depths of Dark Hollow. Yo, you too, Zithax? No way. Man, Gates of Discord is so much fun. If people are still not trying Gates because they, you know, didn't like it back in like 2002, they are really doing themselves a disservice. It's an incredible expansion now. Stickers of Fadeware is a good expansion. I can see that, Frank. Frank, what you got to do is like compare text view and tac v minus High Priest to Plane of Time. You know what I mean? I think Plane of Time is a really underwhelming raid personally, and for that reason, even without the racing, it's at least better than Pop. I guess it's not saying much because I hate Pop. Yeah, and the mobs are really spiky, you know what I mean? I feel like there's very little risk of dying in Planes of Power. You're a big fan of High Priest? Dude, I lived in that tunnel, man. Yeah, I agree with that, Zithax, 100%. It's underwhelming with a hint of bad art style. Getting some partial resists here, and my mana is kind of questionable. Yo, this guy's healthy. Not doing a lot of damage. In Plane of Fire, that's where you spent the most time in the whole game. Well, you know, Plane of Fire is like one of those zones you can keep going back to for a while to... Thank God he ran. To redo, you know, for EXP. Big AA farm area. How's the EXP here, by the way? Not bad, really. Versailles was in Faceless. He is just Rage, Frank the Berserker. That's cool. Yeah, I hate boxing myself. Mostly because I'm terrible at Everquest. So if I played on Rizlona, I would do the same things. If I would not box a single character. Maybe I'd have like a bard follow me around or something. Look at me being bad, not biting my wounds. Do you think blue or green for a fresh start? Cozy, no question, green. I wouldn't start on blue now, unless you're just like doing it to buy a bunch of gear and like power level yourself for like a quick blast of nostalgia. But green has a legit huge population around the clock, you know what I mean? Every zone you go to, you're going to find people in there messing around doing stuff across all level ranges, so green is still in a great spot. And if you get a character around like level 12 or 20 or 46, you can group with me and Trolley. Man, Versailles, Ghost Hawk was like my favorite time on Cello outside of the launch. Dude, Slazik, I got level 17 and then I got killed and high keep, lost it. So I'm gonna get 17 again. But yeah, I'm 17 right now, Slazik. I farmed a couple thousand extra plat. I don't know what I'm gonna buy, but I plan to invest it somehow. Yeah, Cello launch was a lot of fun. Avatar the Council killed. I don't think I'll get an Argent. I want to stick with my Wormslayer for now, but I might get an FPSS or something. I've got a Rubicite breastplate, so like there's no BP upgrades for me that are going to be affordable. You know what I mean? Like I'm going to have to spend like 10,000 plus platinum to upgrade my breastplate. I don't want to do that really. Rags, good to see you, Rags. Do I see Pantheon making it to release? Man, that's a loaded question. I'm going to go out and say yes. Bootly with Raz the Rat Misk, you got it, buddy. Swagging on people with your 10k points. He's just there. He's just hanging out, nodding. Taiku, I'm farming my plat on green and high keep. I basically run around the zone with my high level necromancer, and anything I see alive, I kill. I loot it, and I treat it like a first to engage zone, even though technically I think you could declare camps there. Yeah, Zithax, this is the recent Cobra Kai shirt. I'm a big fan. Probably bought it for me recently after we watched the latest season. Okay, Underfoot with a big gap, and then Gates of Discord, and then Depths of Dark Hollow. Yeah, Diva, go ahead. Links are open now. You don't need permissions anymore. Versailles, I think it pretty much is the same thing right now. You know what I mean? Unfortunately. I choose to believe, Rags, that it will make it to launch, but I can 100% understand people who doubt it. 100%. Usually games that take a long time to come out, when they do come out, they come out in an abysmal, terrible state too. So I think it's got a lot of things that it's swimming against right now, you know. But like I said earlier, I have had hands on Pantheon. I have played it, and the game that I played was very fun. I think it's not really a matter of developing a game that's fun to play. It's a matter of creating enough content to keep a vast army of players occupied for an extended period of time. I think that's the challenge that remains for them. But in terms of gameplay that's fun and relatively smooth, I think they already have that dialed in more or less. Right, yeah, Zithax, exactly. Which is like a really bad look. What class will I play in Pantheon? Not sure yet. Maybe a Necromancer. I'm going to click your link, Diva, and I hope that I don't get a keylogger. Diva, why is there a Lucklin model on my screen right now? What is this? A long-forgotten Runes of Kunark quest offered by Kugrak Bonecrush has been completed for the first time. Please congratulate Divad on his accomplishment. That's awesome. Was that the Ivy Shea blade? Oh, I see you're a bard, so it must not have been Ivy Shea, right? Which one was that? It looks like Ivy Shea, but I thought Ivy Shea was the warrior only one. Am I crazy? Or is it just statistically like as good as the warrior epic? Sort of. For some reason, I associate Ivy Shea with warrior. How sick would it be to have $500 million at my disposal? Well, I don't... What would I do if I had $500 million? I don't know that the first thing I would do is make an MMO, to be honest with you. Dude, honestly, you could just buy Everquest for like, what was it, 70 million? We calculated the other day in chat. Is Norok here? Big Norok did the math. $70 million, buy Everquest, and you still have enough to make a MMO on the side. Just run EQ to keep your developers paid. You would actually just be able to do, Norok says it's 90 million, so check this out. What we already know they've done to Everquest forever is they take the profit Everquest makes and they ship it into some other game that is doomed to fail. Now, I'm not trying to jinx anybody here, but it sounds like we could just continue operations as normal once we purchased Everquest, and we would still be able to make Pantheon. Like, it wouldn't even be a change of, not even a change of plans. Except we would start with like 400 million seed dollars. So Zithax, if they had launched another TLP, assuming like it's some generic rule set, you know what I mean, like Finny clone number 29, are you going to play on it just for like that launch week at least, or are you probably going to leave it alone? $50-50. It basically just depends on like how hype your friend group gets. All I know is that every time I've said no, I end up being wrong because people convince me. So right now I'm saying yes. I can't see myself backing out at that point. Kugrak's Blade, 12, 26, 10 strength, 5 dex, 5 stamina, 15 fire resist, 5 magic resist, 5 AC. They just love throwing that like 5 AC on some of those things. Wormslayer, boom, 5 AC. Siphon Life. Not terrible. Procs at 50, it would be cooler if it procced at like 20. So Zithax, have you heard about my retarded guild I'm going to be doing on the next TLP server? It might be the dumbest thing you've ever heard about in EQ. Alright, so check this out. I'm going to do a guild. The premise of the guild is that... Okay, so right out the gate, the premise of the guild is we want to clear all the raid content at least one time, except for Plane of Sky. Just delete Plane of Sky from your memory, because it's not fun, so we're not doing it. But the caveat, the biggest caveat is, if you die, you have to leave the guild or delete your character. Members in the guild can only group and trade with other members of the guild. That's pretty much it. No cash shop items or anything like, so no EXP potions, no run speed potions. Right, exactly, Sithax. It's just the guild-wide hardcore Soul of Self-Found. I'm going to play a Paladin so that when I'm tanking CT and the DT timer's at 3 seconds, I can DA. And then pretend I don't know what happened. I'm doing a lot of melee to these, so I may as well pull Yelp back out. Figures like the one time I took it off the bar. Xylo TV, guys, should I continue my level 20 pally on blue or just start over on green? You should start over on green 100%. You'll thank yourself, because even when you get to the maximum level on green, it's a better place to be max level than on blue, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? And the first 20 levels is honestly like less than 1/10 of the full 1 through 60 grind time. So you'll like 1 through 20 better on green. You'll like 21 through 60 better on green. And once you're 60, if you had a 60 on both servers, you'd like the community you had better on green at the end of the day too, I think. Right, Wombat, you could run away. Does anyone truly roleplay in Everquest? Not that I know of, Gilmere. Oh man, everyone DAs. He just waits for the timer and then picks someone. Whoever DA'd first gets nuked. Dang, Liverflap, look at you. You're speed racing the COVID immunity system. I think I have inadvertently set my first the background music here. I set it to loop, and I meant to loop an album, but instead I've been looping the same 2-minute song for the last 2 hours. Hype. Get ready for the first new song of the stream, folks. Dang, well, 51 on a Troll Shadow Knight is something to brag about. That's swaggy. Did I know about Viewport? I'm like hesitant to use it right now. What are you doing to me? Ah. I didn't know about it, Frank. Is there a reason I would do that rather than just clicking these squares up here? You know what I mean? And like drag and dropping. Project carry later. Oof. Local lore. Okay. Here's my question for you, Liverflap. Do you want Guck lore or do you want Ancient Croc lore? Dude, Norak, I remember you guys all had your incognito names, and I went to the stream and I heard Aleda's voice, and I was like, it's Aleda. And he was like, fuck, man, I told you not to stream it. They'd recognize us. Liverflap just says yes. Were you in that group, Zithax, with Aleda and Norak on, what was that? Like, that was Cornav, right? Aleda's dope, man. I thought it was like Norak, Aleda, Thraka, I guess you. I don't know who the other members were, though, anymore. Uh-oh, we had a triple spawn. All right, after this spawn cycle, I'll get you with that, Liverflap. Are these lower level? No, they're 27. It's actually kind of unfortunate for me. Ooh, a level 30. He's gonna be tough, dude. pretty good group. I haven't seen lamps in a long time. Thanks, Spootly. All right, here we go. Hopefully I don't get killed by this even con. Honestly, looking at how hard some of these mobs are when they're blue makes me really question whether or not I can even kill Ancient Croc. Like, he's really resistant. He resisted one, another one did 7 damage, and he's an even con. I might be out of mana before I can kill him. I'm buffed. I got Bravery, Symbol, and Guard. The only thing I'm missing is my casting haste, Blessing of Piety. Alright, so we're good. Good-ish. He's gonna run. And I don't think anything will social him that we care about. Just gotta start the spell before he gets around the corner and hope he doesn't resist. Easy. I do have root up revs just in case. Alright, big med break here. Didn't lose that much HP though. Alright, so liver flaps. Really quick, we'll do Guk first since that's a little bit easier while I think about the Ancient Croc. So Guk, as we know, was originally the home of the trolls. They enslaved the Froglocks here. This is where Warlord Yakesha lived. He actually lived in Lower Guk. In that little, I think he lived in the area with like the Crusader camp, like that big castle thing, down there in live side Lower Guk. But this was after the discovery of the Grosmok Stone at that time. The trolls that now live in Grob still owned the Grosmok Stone and they lived here. They enslaved the Froglocks. Eventually, the Broken Skull tribe snuck in the midst of the night and stole the Grosmok Stone. And in the chaos and confusion, the Froglocks also rose up and attacked the trolls at the same time. The trolls were in disarray. A young legendary Froglock hero, Hoptor Thagalum, led the revolt, and at the end of the day, the Froglocks were free. They controlled Guk, and Hoptor wielded the short sword of Yakesha after then. So maybe he beat the Warlord Yakesha, the chosen one of the trolls, in a one-on-one fight. Maybe he just stole it. Who knows? But after that, Hoptor Thagalum led the Froglocks for a time. However, eventually, a troll shaman who worshipped Inruk snuck into Guk, seeking vengeance, and was eventually hunted down and on the verge of death. When she asked Inruk to curse the Froglocks and unleash his hatred upon them, he opened up his cauldron, Inruk's cauldron as it were, and stole the souls of all the Froglocks there, making them Froglock ghouls, all the ones who were surrounding her, and took the troll as well. And from there, the ghoulish plague can spread from one Froglock to another. And whenever they die, they come back unless, you really destroy them. At least that's like tier 2 lore outside the game. But most importantly, the Froglocks were pushed back. There's a huge section of the city they no longer control. A new Froglock king had to rise up and lead the Froglocks because Hoptor Thagalum went missing. If you, the player, kill the Ghoul Lord, the evil Froglock in charge of the army of undead Froglocks now, you will, maybe to your dismay, discover that he wields that same short sword of Yakesha that Hoptor Thagalum stole from the Warlord Yakesha all those years ago, seeming to imply that the legendary hero of the Froglocks himself is the one who now leads the enemies who are hellbent on destroying the Froglocks. Quite tragic. Yeah, Mercher, we're trying to get those Gator Scale legs. It's crazy how much mana this is going to take. Like, I can't even go right now safely with 56%. I think I do have like specific Ancient Croc lore in here though. Thanks, Sithax. Right off the top, I could be like wrong on a thing or two maybe, but I'm pretty confident on my Guk lore. Later, Zythan. Thank you so much. All right, Liverflap. Unfortunately, I don't have any additional information on the Ancient Croc specifically. The Everquest Monster Manual doesn't have any information about him, and I don't think I've ever seen any lore in game to really explain anything about him. Wombat Man, yeah, I want the legs, preferably, but I'll take the arms. I think I'm just wearing banded arms right now, so it's not like I'm wearing anything incredible. Yeah, just banded. Right now my legs are from the Alchemist because I got these while I was camping the cloak. Good old mammoth hide leggings. These are 2, I want to say I lose 2 AC over the banded legs. But I figure, like, what is 2 AC really for me? Certainly 3 stamina is not a lot. Look, I'll go from 1131 to 24, so this is only 7 HP. Technically, by like conventional wisdom, the 2 AC is better than 7 HP. But EverQuest is not that hard that you have to care about that kind of thing. Good night, Cyathin. As always, it's great to see you. I'll probably talk to you tomorrow. Yeah, the arms are not a wisdom item. What is the deal with the Froglocks striking a deal with the ogres, the Forger backquest? Honestly, Zamir, I don't know. I think the Froglocks really don't see the ogres as a mortal enemy in the same way that they see the trolls as an enemy. And, you know, the trolls and the ogres, while the basic factions like the guards are more or less okay with each other, some of the factions are KOS with one another. I think like the Shadow Knight factions and the Shaman factions between ogre and troll are actually on bad terms. So it might just be a case of my enemy, you know what I mean? All right, these guys are both blue, so at least it'll be a little bit easier than the previous one. Oh, did we... I think I calmed one and it already wore off. Does anyone chat know? Am I wasting my time by calming them? Or are they strictly non-social? I think they're actually not social and I'm just doing this for no reason. You know, Zalo, I always think about that. Like, how are you going to have Antonius Bale not even make an appearance in Classic EverQuest? It was such a pivotal character. They aren't social. Big Zithax dropping the real knowledge for me. Thanks, Zithax. When does cultural smithing get added into the game? Seems everything they say in that blah blah blah. I don't know. I don't know anything about cultural trade skills, to be honest. Hopefully someone in chat will be able to help you out though. Oh, this dude is definitely not making it to the water. Psych. Lore, is there another fat/large race like ogre and troll you'd like to see? Bugbear? It's so weird that it like was looting that. Another fat or large race. I don't know if there is. I don't know if there's another large race I'd like to see. What I would like to see is them add more classes for Barbarian and Ixar respectively. I'd like to see an Ixar Rogue and a Barbarian Paladin. I think those would be awesome. It makes sense, right? Zithax, there's like Ixar Rogue NPCs all over the place in Kunar, and they look dope. I'm telling you, Yttrium. Tribunal is a perfect deity for a paladin. Never mind the fact that the barbarians were created by like Irolasi Mar and Mythanio Mar anyway. Like they have all the reasons that they should be able to be paladins. And paladin class really needs a big race. Variety Void, thank you so much for that sub, dude. Much appreciated. What are some big races that we like fight? Oh, you know what, dude? Shisar? Shisar would be sick. Okay, imagine this. Instead of Vashir, when Luckland launches, they release the Shisar as a playable race. It would be... The whole timeline would be flipped. WoW wouldn't exist. Everquest would be ruling the world right now. You'd go to Mick Everquest for your burgers in the morning. I mean, we just cracked the code now that I thought about this. Vashir were the downfall of Everquest. I'll say it right now. I'll say it right now. The whole timeline. P99 Blue would be a bunch of guilds fighting over Vexthal right now if Shisar had been the playable race instead of the Vashir. This is just something that we have to face. This is something that we as a generation, in our piece of the multiverse, we missed out on it. Some other universe got Shisar and they live in Everquest land right now. Make-A-Wish kids are like, Mom, I want to go to Everquest World and pet the Shisar. 100%. I don't know, there's just something kind of lame to me about the Vashir. I don't like their models. Like, I even like the traditional Karen models better. Just think about it. I mean, it's not necessarily that the Vashir are the worst thing you could possibly have done, but basically they chose a race that was formerly an enemy race. Okay, so put yourself in Variant's shoes, right? You're in Velius. You're developing the next expansion. The next expansion is actually due out in like 3 weeks and you're still working on it because that's how it went back then with EverQuest. And you say, Smed comes in, he says, guys, we need a whole new race and a new city added. And you say, Smed, this expansion drops in 3 weeks. And he says, we need it, get it done. And he throws a bag of Doritos at you. And you go, okay, we're going to have to pick one of the races that already exist in EverQuest. And you land on Karen. Dude, you could have been a Knoll. Could have been Froglogs. Could have been Shisar, which were coming out already. The assets were already there. I'm just saying there are better options on the table at that point in time than the Karen, but they chose the Karen anyway, and I just don't understand why. That's all I'm saying. Oh, that's actually cool, Slassic. I did not know that. Knolls would have been dope, dude. Knollish bards, all they do is run around barking at shit. We already had both good and bad Knolls and neutral Knolls all in EverQuest already, like it was built in. Yo, you could have been an orc. A goblin. Goblin would have been a huge hit. I don't know about space goblins, but it still would have been great. Alright, get this nuke. Oh shit, fizzled. 5%. Good thing he does that terrible EverQuest pathing thing where he has to like run back and forth a little bit. Did he just resist it? This is my nightmare come to life right now. Did he? It did 4 damage, guys. Please no. Sir. I was like, okay, I don't have mana for another nuke after this. Dude, it could have been Bixie. I didn't even think about that. Look at this. We need to build a time machine and undo the damage that was done to EverQuest. See, I think, yeah, if they had done Shisar like that as Ithax, totally different timeline. COVID wouldn't have happened. Bard Barbarian. I could see it. There's not a really compelling reason why just about any race can't be a barbarian. Or, sorry, a bard. Yo, with the Warrens as the hometown, Elon will be president. We gotta do it for Harambe. Yeah, classes for Shisar. Definitely Necromancer, Enchanter, Cleric, Shadow Knight. Obviously, if you have Necromancer, you're gonna have Shadow Knight. I would say Warrior. I would say maybe a Monk. They have Eulax. We've seen them use Eulax. They have Tails, so we got Tail Rig. Probably a Monk, I guess. Yeah, they can't do Flying Kick. I don't think Shisar would have Bards. Shisar Rogue, possibly. They are snakes. I don't think we would see a Mage. Wizard would be a big thing because Vizdraw the Cursed is a wizard. I don't know if we'd see Shaman Shisar. I don't know if we'd see Ranger Shisar. Probably no Rangers, right? Definitely no good guy Shisars. Are there Shaman Shisar in Sra? There are like too many S and H sounds in this conversation for me, you know what I mean? I feel like I'm going crazy. Oh, dude. So Beastlord and their pets are the wraiths that come out when you kill M. Okay, yeah, so Shaman is up there. We could have had it. It's just coffee, Slazik. Man, we need to get J-Chan on the line. Can we redo this? Can we fix it? This is what I'm talking about. They need to do EverQuest 1.5. Just go back to Velius and start new expansions from there. Everything, you know, redo everything. Scrap some, revisit some. 99% of the assets they would want to use already exist. It should be cheap. Saw those execs, Zalo, saying no. It'll be really interesting, actually, to see what the next expansion holds for EverQuest, because they basically hired a whole new team, I think, in the last, like, year and a half, 2 years. They lost Prathen, who was, like, one of the best and longest standing devs they've had. And EverQuest code is notoriously terrible to work with. Like, it's basically like spaghetti code, and you have to have worked with it and know it inside out to make it work very well. And there's basically, like, not a lot of people with that ability still. So if the next expansion is good, it could be really promising. But knowing the way things have gone historically with EverQuest, the next expansion is going to be a train wreck. And then it's just going to be like riding the elevator down, you know what I mean? Oh, dude, Weasel, right? Just use Planet Time as your excuse to roll it back and fix it all. Frank will be in Clausevishan in like 2 months, right? He'll be able to tell you. I don't know if anybody in the chat right now is doing COV content. I don't know that my viewers who watch me camp level 30 mobs in Upper Guck are also doing live, but if they are, they can weigh in. I haven't done it at all. It looks good. I like the new ice thing they did. Yeah, Negreth is like their only big guy still around, right? Is Abzor still around? Maybe Negreth and Abzor are our last hope. Yeah, Zamarix probably is. Level 107 Sarnak. It's like Dragon Ball Z, like you just have to give up on power scaling. Like, why wasn't this level 100 Sarnak hanging out with the king and the queen when my level 60 raid was doing it back in Punark? He could have single-handedly stopped us from ever murdering them. The Sarnak dragon babies? Wait, are we talking about Sokokar? They did add Sokokar, right? Because I have like a Sokokar mount on one of my characters. So, Frank, is the new Chardock literally the old Chardock layout populated with new mobs, or did they remake the zone? Oh, that's cool. Fighting Imp again. Well, not again, but for the first time. When you're fixing the timeline, I guess. It's just really hard to bridge that gap to get them to, to get players into that new content. Frank, like Cello was a good option, but Cello only got what, like 60 people into the new content? We should have repops here soon-ish. I'm hoping I don't have to redo my symbol. Alright guys, this is the Ancient Croc spawn right here. Get ready. He's gonna be like right here, he's gonna be huge. And he's gonna kill us. You know what's weird? On P99, Guck looks a lot different. Like this texture that's on the floor is like the walls of Guck on P99, pretty sure. We don't get like this nice little water drip, 3-frame water drip animation. I don't do anything with crypto liver flap. I should have like 10 years ago though, like everybody else. Honestly, I think original Chardock kind of misses the mark a little bit. It's like a little bit too chaotic, if that makes sense. Like, why are there so many dudes just standing in hallways? Chardock is like one of the enemy zones that most feels like it could be a real city, but there's just a little something wrong, and like it's hard to put your finger on it. You know what I mean? But there should be like more rooms, like with doors. You know what I mean? Where shit would actually like live and hang out. For some reason, everyone in Chardock's like, I am content to stand in a hallway here and just chill with my skeleton boys over here. And that's the weird thing about it. Pretty sure Chardock has like 6 doors in the whole place, and 3 of them are for royals, you know? Yeah, there are some huge like watershed moments in gear and Mudflation and everything. And then there's a while where the group gear actually like pretty well prepares you to start the raiding in each individual expansion. I don't know if that's still the case. Frank, if someone were to come into Cello today, you know what I mean? Would the group trial gear get you ready to start like tier 1, like the low tier raids of the current expansion, or not really? Where are Charlie and I headed on Wednesday? Well, right now we're in the Gorge of King Zorb. We'll probably continue there, or do a little runny eye, or do a little high pass, something in that area. The only other place I could see us going with a crazy group would be like Permafrost. Permafrost would be dope, but it's kind of like, I don't know, Permafrost is really tough, so. It's easier now than ever, Frank says. Level 17, liver. You're in perma right now. Oh, yeah. I heard the Zem is pretty nice in perma right now. I'm trying to think, like, what is the best thing I can do with 3,000 platinum on P99 green? Fuker, what's going on, dude? You have the same shirt? Hell yeah. Trolley also got this shirt. We were gonna wear it like at the same time on our duo stream, but it's a unisex shirt, so while it fits me okay, it's like giant on her. Okay, so it scales really nicely, Frank. That's cool. It's like they do like the spreadsheet math now, you know what I mean? So it makes sense. Low noob cakes on plat. I probably have some gear for you, noob cake. The thing is, it's like a whole play session for us to meet each other to trade it. Yeah, I definitely want to check it out then. It's like, you always skip it because the zone is so terrible, but with a cool group and no goal, Permafrost would actually be pretty tolerable. LOL, Frank. What's your name on Cello? Is it Frank the Bank? Or is it just Frank? Or is it Frank the Bank? I gotcha. I sent you a tell, dude. Frank, I'm gonna report your name for being against the name policy. It's very unimmersive. I don't think so, Jakarkin. Maybe I could be persuaded to do like a 1 through 115 run. I just don't think there would be like anybody else doing it, you know what I mean? So it wouldn't be as fun. Part of the fun of a TOP launch is that there's so many people involved. It's crazy, and there's like just a lot of energy in the air. It's hard to put your finger on, but if they launched like a new just live server tomorrow, there'd be like 50 people on it. Okay. Did you name change? Ah. We're doing the spawn dance. Please, Ancient Croc, spawn. I beseech you to arrive now. Please. Oh, that sucks, Frank. Yeah, Twitch, this is like one of those notoriously kind of meh camps. And here we go with more meh. All right. Zithax assured me these were not social, and it turns out that Zithax, he is not a liar. So, good job. Thank you. What level is this guy? This guy is 27. Yeah, I remember those crashes now that you say it, Frank. And like, you would make the character, then the server would crash. The character would be gone, but the name would be locked out forever. Just lost in the matrix. Dude, these guys are so resistant. What level did you do this camp at, Twitch J? Because right now these blues are taking 75% of my mana pool to kill. So I don't know that I'll be able to do the AC if he did spawn. Proof. Did you take a screenshot of you successfully making your original name? Rip. Oh, I can see why though, because you probably were staring at that entering West Freeport sign for like 20 minutes, right? Oh, you were 50. Yeah, you crushed it then. For sure. Nice, Moogle. might actually try to get Zaide on the next server since I'm not going to be playing Incognito. Frank the Bank tells you, current Ascending Sun Greatsword, previous Mercy. Mercy is a good sword. What am I looking at, dude? All right, so mine is a 718. It's pretty good ratio. Frank's is a 588-37. It feels like they just accidentally pressed the number 8 one too many times. I sent you mine, Frank. Don't make everybody in the guild jealous with it. And that's your old one, so your current one is even better. 689-27. So over 100 damage better with the same delay. Oh, sorry, 37. Yeah. Hammer of Magic strikes your target, dealing up to 11,000 damage. Do you think you could solo Veneral Sathir? Are you the only paladin in the guild, or is there like one other paladin? That's got to be the strategy for the next TLP. Roll a class where like the loot just falls on you because you're like one of 3. You had 3. Good luck, Slazik. Valorian BP, drop it now. I need like 4% more mana. Yeah, I've seen the 5 spawn before. It's crazy. It took me like 45 minutes to clear the 5 spawn. This is such a unique spawn point, you know what I mean? Because it's really one spawn point that can generate 5, 3, 2, or 1 mobs. Camped off the EXP is surprisingly good. I've gained 52% EXP since I've been here. And I mean, I've been here for a long time because the spawn rate is balls, but the number of mobs I've killed is very low. Ooh. What are you killing them on, Slaz? Oh, yeah, Tris, it's, I mean, crazy. The EXP difference between Mangler and P99 is like out of this world. Oh, okay. What's up, Dither? Primers. Dude, his Bobby's emotes look so good. Back in the meditation game. Nazwadi, the Cleric, is level 30, approaching level 31 though. What is Bandolier? Yeah, so check this out. This is what it is, liver flap. If you can read this tiny font here. I have a thing here called a Bandolier, and it lets you set a predetermined equipment layout for your primary slots. So this is my bash layout. It's Ixar Berserker Club, it's my Shiny Breast Shield, and it's my Fippy's Paw. And then this is my cast layout. Same thing, except I replace the shield with a Testament of Veneer. I walk around in the cast layout 99% of the time. But when my bash is off cooldown, I press my bash button, number 2, which actually is this hotkey. Pause 3, then it does, actually, hotkeys run the opposite way. So it's activating my bash Bandolier, switching me to this weapon set. Then I do ability 2. My number 2 ability, you guys can't see it, is bash right here. And then it pauses again, and then it activates my cast ability. So basically, in about a tenth of a second, I swap to my shield, do my bash, and then I put my shield away. And that way I can maintain the benefits of having a Testament of Veneer, but when I need to bash, I pop the shield in and still get the bash in. Yeah, it is also very nice when you're working on weapon skill ups. It's pretty minor on the Cleric, but on the Paladin, it's incredibly good because it means I can use my Pally with my two-hander, which is usually the better weapon option for a Paladin, and I can just swap into the shield to bash whenever I want, especially since none of the Paladin races get slammed, unlike the Shadow Knight. Though slam actually sucks. Very overstated, I think. No, Slam has a preset like maximum damage, I want to say, whereas Bash scales very nicely. So you're gonna do way better DPS with Bash than with Slam. Also, there's the small benefit that while I'm using that Bash, I do have like a bunch of better AC and magic resist. So if a spell were to hit me at the same time I'm doing the bash, I have additional 10 magic resist because I'm using a Shiny Breast Shield. If the mob hits me while I'm doing the bash, which is actually sort of likely because of how fast that kind of stuff happens, I have a bunch of extra AC. Shield AC being a lot better than normal AC too. So Shield AC, just basically I think Shield AC ignores AC soft caps and hard caps. So I get an extra 10 AC while I'm doing it. Fuker, thank you so much. This is a good time to remind folks in the chat, if you haven't already seen it, we have a community challenge. You can contribute your channel points to our Champions of Norath stream fund. If we get 500,000 points, we will do a stream for Champions of Norath. It'll be Charlie, my wife, and I will do a co-op playthrough, and we'll beat the whole game, and we'll do it. It'll probably take us a few streams to do it, but we'll do the whole thing on stream. Felseeker, did I get the cloak in Permafrost? Sir, I did indeed get the cloak. Mammoth Hide cloak feels good with that nice big 4 wisdom. Rat Labs Jordan, redeem summon free Lord Jarn. Here you go, man. He's coming out swinging. The only thing with the Cobra Kai shirt right now is that like the neck hole is a little big, I feel like. It might shrink when we like do a wash dry cycle on it again. And then it'll fit just fine. Thank you, Felseeker. It took about like 6 hours of mostly AFK time. That spawn is basically 2 goblins. They're both green to me. And the Alchemist is, I want to say, 16 or 17 minute respawn. So basically I just sat my phone on a timer and I would go back to my computer every 16 minutes, wait for him to pop, kill him, and then go away again. Indeed, Superman. Cut it into a V? LOL. Maybe. Let's see, what time did we kill the last one at? 32:51. It is now 38, so we still have like a couple more minutes before we have any spawns. I'll probably rebuff before this next wave. I do not have the earring from Lanuga yet. Right now I still have the polished bone hoops from the Evil Eyes and Gorge of King Zorb. I want to say I have saved up 6 or 7 rubies, of which 2 are on me. So eventually I hope to get it, but honestly, you need like, to have it be a guarantee that you're going to get a ruby or an earring, you need like 20 rubies, realistically. So there's still a really good chance that even with 6 or even 10 rubies, I'll walk away empty-handed. Ooh, man. It ripped on a hoodie? Dude, you must have like gorilla grip. Where would I rank Pally on solo classes? Actually, Pin, I picked Paladin because I thought it was the weakest. Outside of Rogue and Warrior, I thought Paladin was the weakest class for SSF, and I wanted to make it as hard as possible. But where would I rank it? Honestly, it's probably better than Monk. It's probably better than Rogue. It's probably better than Warrior, but it's worse than almost every other class. Having spells is huge, so any primary spellcaster is going to beat it. And I think Shadow Knight beats it because of Feign Death and having pets, so you can do a lot with pet pooling to get solo mobs, and Feign Death just means like if you're hardcore mode, you're not going to eat those deaths that the Paladin might have to suffer through. Okay, Slazik, that sucks too. But you said it fits better now, so I guess pros and cons? Yeah, I would put Necro at the top, Pit, exactly. I'd go like Necro, Enchanter, Mage. No, actually, sorry, let me revise that list. I would go Necro, Druid, Enchanter, Mage, Shaman. Probably in that order. And if you're on P99, Bard. Probably also tie with Necro. Okay. I got it, Slazik. But yeah, Necromancer solo capability is like incredible. Really good. Hard to beat. Hard to beat that. And that's like in normal zones. If they're in an undead zone, they have like Mez and Charm and everything at their disposal too, so... Yeah, some content, dude. The content would be me dying in like the first 5 levels. Yeah, that's true, Versaire. And slow. And you can go Ogre and just sit there and tank it, you know what I mean? They're very powerful. Those top classes are almost like Druid and Shaman are almost like same tier, you know what I mean? Alright, let's redo some buffs. Exactly, Pitten, yeah. So the Enchanter will actually, like... The reason Enchanter wouldn't be number 1 is because their pet normally blows, and you have to assume some level of risk to be, like, very good DPS, you know what I mean? Like, if they're charming, that could always go bad. And in a hardcore run, something going bad really quickly turns into you dying. The Necromancer toolkit is just wider and deeper, you know what I mean? The hard thing about the Necro is like the early levels, because early on, you're really susceptible to getting killed by things that don't like you for faction reasons. And, you know, Necros are usually evil, so unless you're like a Dark Elf, I guess you're going to be around a lot of things that could just path by, like wandering NPCs, Holly Windstalker, Sergeant Slate, you know what I mean? Things that could just roll up and like wreck you in those first 20 levels. So that's a big risk. Yeah. I mean, I soloed most of my leveling 1 through 50 on green with my Necro. I did like some dueling and stuff because I wasn't like specifically trying to solo, but I never found anything that I couldn't really handle. Where I was like, oh, this is just too hard for me. It's just such a versatile class, you know what I mean? With so many options available all the time. And it's a lot of fun the whole way. But yeah, I did it in Classic. I wish I had waited till Cunarch to do my first Necromancer, I guess, because the Ixar is so powerful with the Lich plus regen bonus combo, you know? Taiku, go down swinging. Yeah, I think the only option is DA and run, actually. If I can land a root, I will. But I probably won't gate. Because there's always a chance root breaks really quick, and I only need a couple seconds of head start, so I'll root them. Then I will run. As I'm swimming, I will click my Invis potion, pop up on the land. Once I get to the next set of land, Ancient Cyclops or Ancient Croc is no longer a concern because I can strafe run and beat him in a race. It's only this section of water where he's way faster than me that I have to worry about it. So if I can DA through it or keep him rooted enough to get me a head start, I'll be safe. I don't think so. I don't think so. Maybe on the Druid, yeah. But it'd be tough. Yeah, Prandrox, let me pop it up for you. There's my Bandolier, there's my hotkey, and this is my ability bar. You know what, Zamir? Look at you with the big brain right now. I'm over here just being lazy. Feels good, Twitch. Wait till I get that big pot of Opala, then we'll really be rocking. Fat Sacks, why human for this run? Absolutely, you are correct. The better option would have been any snare neck or a dwarf or a high elf, anything but human. And if you had to go human, you could still have been any to get the snare neck. But I went human Burtox. And the reason I did it is for the lore. Because I love the Blood Sabers, I love Kanos, and there are so few opportunities for you to play a class that can be a Blood Saber, which is that cult that lives underneath Kanos in the aqueducts, that I was like, you know what? It's just a hardcore run, right? Why not just be the lore run? So that's what I did. Oh, that sucks. The scary part about being a mage or using mage gear. Dang, Liver Flap 300 plat is nothing to sneeze at, too. Are you saving up for anything in particular? Dang, Slassic, that's a long time. A huge number of the EQ names are actually anagrams. Tunair is nature. Hovar is vapor. ECE is ice. Vishan is heavens. There's more that I'm not thinking of off the top. Wrath is earth. Yep, there you go, Arvis. You guys probably know some more in the chat that you could drop out. Oh, we got a 3 spawn. Hopefully you got this down, Prandrox. I'm gonna have to close it out for a second while I do this combat. Blue, blue, white. All right. Get my Yelp in. I did it for the lore. No problem, dude. Oh yeah, Tolapoomch. Good old jump a lot. There are a few other Foglock names, I think, that are similar anagrams like that, too. Dude, Wrath does 8 damage. These are so magic resistant. It's crazy. Hey, Wells Fargan. I didn't even know that. That's funny. That's a good one, Norok. Full resist. He's gonna run. This will put him at 2. 5. Come on, kill him. All right, there we go. All right, catch you later, Medusa. Good to see you, man. Thanks for stopping by, as always. Well, it's Grant spelled backwards. Maybe one of the devs who made that spell line was named Grant. Just threw himself in there. Ooh, good luck, Slavic. 5 is actually pretty good odds of getting something. You're probably gonna get like a bracer though, knowing your luck. Hey, I will be right back in 1 second, guys, as I meditate up and stuff. Yeah, it's going to take me a few minutes to get my mana up for this next fight anyway, so I'll be back in just a second. Hey, I am back. Thanks for waiting around for me. We're almost at enough mana to take this next croc. I need like 70 to feel comfortable. DFresh429, thank you for that follow. Any lore on the hand mobs in Carnors? You know, I think I actually did read some lore on them, but it was like kind of crazy. I want to say it was in the maps of Mirist. There's like some really bad lore about them. If you guys haven't seen the maps of Mirist before, it was like a series of maps, full color, like high gloss maps, in a book that was released alongside Planes of Power. And there's a lot of really dumb lore in it. Some of the lore is kind of good, but then there's other lore, like there's lore on Lord Nogafin, and it says that like he used to make Freeport deliver him one virgin maiden every month to eat, and then Arola Simar got so mad at him she sewed his heart to his stomach with a golden thread so that he would always feel bad and couldn't eat women anymore, and so now he's constantly starving. Like that's the kind of lore that's in that book. And I think they have something on the hands. I'll check it out tonight, but I don't know it offhand. You had to pop some heals. You must have gotten a ton of ads there. All right, let's get this next one. Wrath time. Dude, he came out with a big 47 and a 52. This guy's coming for me. Sorry that I couldn't give you a better answer than that, Taiku. But honestly, if I had to guess based on everything I know, I would assume it was some kind of experiment or creation from VS, messing around with weird magic and stuff. Because of the Sathir line in particular, Veneral Sathir and Atribe Sathir are known as almost like scientists, you know what I mean? They did all sorts of weird experiments. And you see some of that if you're like in the... if you're like in Veneral Sathir's room, there's like I think there's a table there. You can see some weird shit on the table, and especially in the Pawbuster Warlord room at the top, there's all kinds of weird things floating in jars and stuff that you can see where Veneral Sathir and his minions have been conducting some kind of experiments. I don't even know why I just took that meat. 3 Worry Wraiths, 4 Turmoil Toads, Amygdalin Warrior, and a Fetid Fiend. Man, that's a lot of extra baggage just to get that poor Fetid Fiend. I assume that you have basically no risk of getting feared by the Turmoil Toads, Slaz. Gotta pop that weapon shield. Oh, you don't have any of your discs. Oh, that could be really tough then, for sure. Yeah, very sketch. Are you still fighting them, like, right now? So 75% health, I should be okay on HP. Like, I think health is not a limiting factor for this next Croc, though he's an even con, so he'll do a little bit more damage. But to kill him, I'm gonna need like straight up 80% mana. Zaide, any common misconceptions with spellcasting that you think? I feel like I've played EQ on and off for so long, thousands of hours, and I still have some misconceptions about spell power, resist, etc., like Prism with charming stuff. There's a lot, Pitten, but I bet you that I'm wrong on a lot of it too. Like, I feel like every time I play a new server, and sometimes even between servers, I'm always like learning new stuff, you know what I mean? Like, that's why if you take a few TLPs off and you come back and try to be competitive, you're like way behind. Because every server, there is like a new meta, there's like new little techs that people figure out to do things better and faster. I know the charisma thing was a debate for years and years and years. Like, the old wisdom was all charisma. Then we heard people debating about the effectiveness of charisma. And then finally we had like pretty good evidence that charisma is basically not important. And it's just taken a long time for that to kind of catch on. I've heard things like necromancers. Necro charm is inversely related to charisma. So you want super low charisma, negative charisma to make necro charms more effective. I don't know if there's any truth to that. And then there are some little texts and stuff you can do with the way moving and casting interact. Like sometimes if you're running, and you stop and cast a spell, but you cast it too soon after stopping, it'll just interrupt you really annoyingly. And there's a little tech to prevent that. I forget exactly what it is though. And sometimes you'll see me move right before my spell finishes, and it will still resolve the entire spell. So there are little tricks like that too. Frank says it's turning, so that sort of makes sense. I think that's what I always heard too. These guys are like KOS, but they don't actually aggro me. Like, I'm pretty sure I could walk right up to him and hang out. He wasn't going to bite me. Arrow turn a little bit after, yeah. Yeah, I need to build that habit up, because it happens to me a lot when I'm trying to like kite things around. This guy is becoming a big problem for me right now. We need to not get any parcels right now. There we go. It was looking kind of sketch there. For a minute, he was winning the race on this. And dead. Almost 31. Pretty good. Yeah, so that's what I always do now, is like stack stamina. Though Slazik well, not really me, but Slazik really just did a bunch of testing with stamina recently, right, Slazik? And you saw the stamina gains for most int casters are just pretty garbage. Now, enchanters get hit more than any other int caster, so it makes sense for them to put those points into stamina anyway. But most other int casters are probably better, at least initially, putting points into intelligence. The only thing is you're going to easily cap your primary casting stats like wisdom or intelligence So if you plan to be a very active raider, then I think I would still put points into stamina, because stamina is always hard to cap, especially with your gear flowchart that you're going to use. But yeah, the returns that casters get for pumping points into stamina are very, very low. It's just that, like, you're going to max out your primary stats anyway, so it doesn't matter. Did I sell my ring? I unequipped this ring so long ago when we were buying rubies, and I never put it back on. Look at this. How much mana? 4 mana. I've been 4 mana short this whole time. That's a game changer. Right, yeah, P99 is a whole different ball game. And I would hesitate to comment on the stuff there, personally. Camdolf, you didn't let me know, man. I needed you to be here to let me know I was missing that ring. And Velius, I would have 5k HP and 500 plus AC. Enchanter was amazing. I bet, dude. That's a lot of HP. But that's like all raid gear and stacked out, right? Start as a human and pump strength. Man, back before they used to sell 40 slot bags that you could buy for like 50 bucks on every TLP launch, I used to hate being a monk and competing with all these like robe classes and especially clerics on the dragon bags. You guys know, like the treasure hunter satchel and the Kevrul's mystical pouch. Man, clerics used to go so deep on DKP for that shit, and all the monks were like, come on, man. I get it. Clerics need plate armor. They got like 20 strength. They're always encumbered. This is my AC we're talking about. $30. I hate those bags. It's the closest thing you get to actually like buying power. That and like the run speed potions and stuff. I think that, like, yeah, I don't know. Even cosmetic items in the shop, I'm not crazy about, because I think you look at the cosmetic items and you say, well, it doesn't make you stronger. It doesn't make your character better. But how cool would it be if there were all these other cosmetic upgrades that you could camp out in the world? You know what I mean? It would still add a lot to the gameplay experience if those were out there for you. I don't know why that bag just turned me into like ranting on cash shop shit, but... Oh yeah, I mean, if you're going to be raiding and playing on a server a long time, it's a huge positive investment. Like, there's no reason not to do it. 40 slots, 100% weight reduction. Like, it just takes the inventory management aspect of the game and deletes it. You know what I mean? Can you still charm a Valium Hunter Versaire? Yeah, Taiku, I think I did that the other day, like, inadvertently. Yeah, that mob is crazy. I think that's what Keg's group charmed on Cello to have some of their members beat our guys to server first 60. Because we were ahead of them the entire race. Like, when I was leaving Lower Guck with my group on Cello, leaving Hamlord to go to Aquilia Caverns, his group was just moving into my camp. So they were like 5 or 6 levels behind us. And then we were ahead of them all the way until like 55, man. And they started catching up, but only 2 of them. Their group had like a lopsided level kind of spread. So they had 2 guys get 60 before us, and then the rest of our full group hit 60 pretty much within like an hour. And then the rest of their group straggled into 60. But I'm pretty sure they were using the Valium Hunter. Backstabs for 660, jeez. Yeah, with the Tolo robe. Dude, just get the just get an FBSS while you're doing your Lower Guck run on the leveling grind. Get that lucky FBSS and put it on them. Wild. Yeah, and pretty much any proc weapon. Can't you give it like the mage summoned weapon and it'll proc it on anything? Like the Sword of Runes or whatever? Just go bonkers. I know that works on P99. I don't know if that's a TLP thing too. The mage summon swords proc on anything if they're wielded by an NPC. Argenti P99, do you have a Magello or P99 gear profile for your characters? I don't. I used to, but I don't right now. I wouldn't use a Magello for this. I'd probably use like a raid loot profile. I should set one up though. You're right, I'll do that. I think the P99 wiki's been down for a couple days now, like 3 or 4 days. And that's where the people were using all their like Magellos on the P99 wiki for P99 stuff. So I don't even think I could make one for my P99 characters right now, though I would love to brag about my P99 character gear. Yeah, but it's just like, you're not going to be able to get, I guess, Versaire, you are right for like optimal play. I'm just trying to think about what you would be able to get on the leveling rush, you know what I mean? Because that's always where my mind's at. But yeah, if you're just trying to level up and be that dope enchanter that has like the best pet, definitely. Oh, it's back up. Awesome. Thank goodness. Okay, actually, now that we're talking about the wiki being broken, tell me this. How does Project 1999 Green not have a guild forum section still? When I played Green when it first came out, I was like, oh, they didn't make the forum section yet. It's been like a year and a half now, dude. Where's it? It takes you like 3 seconds in PHPBB or vBulletin, whatever their forum system is, to make a new forum category. Why do green guilds still have to post in like the dead blue guild forums? And then me, a casual player, trying to find a guild on green to join. I've got to like open every single thread and see first if it's a blue guild or a green guild or whatever, you know? So weird. Yeah, I remember our enchanters used to use that all the time in VP when they were charming the ghosts and stuff. At the end of the night, they'd be like, hey, can we get all my shit off that mob, that charm mob that we just killed? And they'd have like a whole pile of gear on this little charmed ghost. That's a good idea, Versaire. Big Dino, what's going on? Thank you for contributing to that Champions of Norath stream, and good to see you, dude. Oh, that's a good point too, Versaire. Probably want to stay away from Dot. It's going all right, man. It's going pretty good. We're currently camping the Ancient Crocodile, though I think he will kill me when he spawns. But yeah, we're going to give it a shot. Am I missing any buffs? Bravery, Symbol, and Guard? No. We're good. Don't need any resist buffs or anything for this, so. And I should still be good for the final one. I don't think any of these wear off. Maybe Blessing. Once I get this buff on, I'm going to go ahead and swim around. Get my swimming skill ups. Oh yeah, that sucks. See, you got to get that. You got to get those Rusty Spike shoulder pads, and you got to get the rings from the hand in Lower Guck. That way, you got like a cumulative minus 30 magic resist on them too. Yeah, it's a big investment. That is so funny, Ellie. Kind of a good idea. Yo, you guys remember when I did my Beast Lord solo self-found run? Someone came down and charmed the spiders, the level 2 spiders I was fighting, and they gave them a bunch of sick loot, like fungi tunics and shit. And the idea was that I was only able to loot mobs that I soloed myself, so they were trying to like give me gear. But instead, it made the mobs impossible for me to kill. I had to like run them to the guards almost. I was like, dude, is this mob bugged? He keeps regenerating to full health. Yo, look at my swimming skill ups. I'm a lightning bolt in the water now. I'm like Michael Phelps. LOL, yeah, they loot them wrecked and immediately they can't move one step. So Noobcake, your Necromancer that you just made, that's on P99 now? So you're dropping the Bard right for due to the EXP penalty? It'll be funny, Versailles. You gotta do it in a zone with no guards though. You know, like do like a Black Burrow entrance mob. So that way they don't just get the easy guard one. On Mangler? Oh, okay. That'll be a much nicer EXP rate for you, Noobcake. Crushbone, yeah, Crushbone's a lot more populated. Or, here's a question. Do we have a zone where there's a mob that we can train into the guards? You know what? I already know. High Keep. Go to High Keep. Give a Goblin Raider, like, a sword. Oh, wait. You can't even trade, Can we trade them magical items now? Yeah, we can, right? What am I thinking of that they nerfed about the items you can give to charm pets? Just not no trade. Okay, Frank, that's what I'm thinking of. Give him like a Sword of Skyfire, a Fungi Tunic, and a full set of gear in FBSS, and just train him into the guards and watch him wreck every guard in the place. It really is noob. I mean, it would be worth it just to play on there, but to play a different class. Because the EXP is brutal regardless of what race class combo you are, you know what I mean? Being a bard just makes it a little bit crazier. That must have been wild. But here's the question, Slaz. Did you get any armor for the Pally? Two pieces of cryo silk. That's cool, but sucks for the Pally. Pitten, good to see you again, and thanks for stopping by. Always fun to chat with you, dude. Hopefully I will see you on Wednesday with my next stream. You have legs, boots, bracers, and arms for the Pally. Okay, so you just need the BP and a helmet? What race is your Pally? Because it might even be better to just get like a hero bracer, you know? Spawn? Just some saltwater crocs again. Alright, let's start with the hard one. EXP is pretty good. You could do !Zem and look at the EXP mod on Upper Guck on Mangler, as well as all other TLP servers that are out on the real servers. Upper Guck is not the best anymore. It used to be like actually the best, but it's still pretty good. And as far as a camp where you're gonna like AFK and grind out a few mobs for a while, this is a pretty good one. Because it can spawn as like 3, you know what I mean? It helps it be a lot better. I'm glad I'm doing this now and not waiting till like 40, you know what I mean? No, he went in the water after, dude. It should have still worked. This is actually kind of bad. I need one more nuke. All right, we're good. Argenti P99, thanks for the follow. So if you're just tuning in and you are a new viewer, we're doing solo self-found hardcore gameplay right now, so that means I don't group, I don't trade, I don't take ports or buffs from anybody. All I do is solo mobs myself. Those are the only items I can loot. If I have crafting, I can craft myself an item. I can do quests for items, but I can't do a lot of quests because so many quests require items from trade skills I can't do, like alchemy, tinkering, or simply enchanting platinum bars and things like that. So some quests are off the table. If I die, I delete the character. This is a level 30 cleric right now that we're hoping to get to at least level 50 before we die. We've had a few other attempts. I had a level 42 paladin on Erdune that died in Lower Guck. I had a level 25 paladin on this server that died in Sol 8. I do this every Monday and Friday, and on Wednesdays and Saturdays, I grind on P99, just kind of casually with my wife Trolley. We do a duo session. She usually plays a druid. I play either a necromancer or a shadow knight. And you can see the deaths of those notable paladins in the chat there. Slazik linked them. Okay. Here's a part where we med for 20% so that I can kill another one crocodile. See where we're at. Oh man, we're really close, man. 14% from level 31. At this rate, we actually might be able to kill Ancient Croc because he'll be an even con by the time he spawns. Oh, Scarelings are the worst. Yeah, porting you all over the place, right? Alright, 1 or 2 more ticks of mana regeneration and I should be good here. Alright, we're good. Oh, dude, that's actually the worst. The Berserker Epic mob in there is just cancerous to fight with his, like, constant, very, very lengthy chain stuns. Yeah, that's a big problem. And it seems like he spawns very easily, you know what I mean? It's not a very rare trigger. This next nuke will make him run. It's going to do 13%, so right now it'll put him at about 13% health. Assuming it doesn't partial. I won't be able to resolve it before he hits the water, so I may as well just jump right in. He resisted it. Okay, never mind. I don't know if I have enough mana. Okay. Now we just have to hope that he does not resist this. Perfect. Literally brought me down to 2% mana, so it took me about 70% of my whole mana bar to kill that thing. Yeah, you could do the 1.5 request or whatever, Berserker, yeah. Mert, I could do them as Bertox, but I can't do them because I require enchanted silver bars or enchanted platinum bars, and I can't enchant them. If it was silver, you used to be able to do this thing where you could kill like Queen Clicknick or some of the larger fire beetles, and the giant fire beetle eyes had a few charges of enchant silver on them, but they actually nerfed that for some reason. That no longer exists. So there's actually no way for me to get enchanted bars that I know of. I really like the Croc model, the classic Croc model. I'm glad they changed it back on TLP servers. It used to be like that new shiny model. Ugh. Oh, you're doing an SSF? Noob cake. Are you gonna do Otis only? That spicy Otis only run, 1 through 50? You tried? Did you already get bored, or did you just have to go for spells? I guess I should bond wound a few times while we wait for this. Warrens is sick, yeah, but it's also really tough at first, especially. Erudite only, Otis only group. I'll do one, Frank. Don't tempt me. Maybe not on launch, but... Revendreth, good to see you, man. How you doing, dude? Hey, thanks, Arithmos. I had a lot of fun. Honestly, I need to get back with them because there's so much more lore to talk about. I felt like we need like another 3 hours to get through a lot of it. Yeah, Revendreth, I recently was invited to do a podcast with the Everquest podcast. It's one of the only Everquest exclusive podcasts. If not, I think it might be the most popular one. But I got to sit down for about 90 minutes and have a good, mostly lore discussion, some just like EQ history discussion with the two hosts of that show, and it was a really good time. I encourage you to check it out, and a lot of their other episodes are really awesome as well. Zamer, we think you can. Theoretically, this is what I would do. I would do, just like Payneal Talks Forest crap into either Kara Island or Warrens, which you could do pretty much like to 25, 30-ish. Then you do Stonebrute until like 45-ish, and then you do the whole to 60. Mert, I can only buy things from vendors that they would sell by default. So like I could buy like biscuit, or like not biscuits because that's not an item. I could buy muffins and milk, you know what I mean? But if you sold them, if you sold a merchant, I don't know, an executioner's axe, I couldn't buy it off of. Trolley hooked us up with that podcast link, so please check that out, guys, if you are interested in that sort of thing. Oh, Taiko, I didn't even think of that. That's a good one I should have mentioned. I'll mention it next time. Let's see, this guy is 28. I think the last one I killed was 28 as well. Yo, Super Suit Guy, how's it going, dude? You been doing some tabletop? Are you doing EQ tabletop, or are you doing just like some D&D style, Pathfinder style? Super Suit Guy, are you going to be back on Wednesday to group with us again? Because it was a lot of fun. Oh, Wheel of Time. Dang. That's got to be awesome. I haven't read the Wheel of Time series, but I have a lot of friends who are constantly telling me I need to do it. It's one of the classics. All right, 80%. We're above ready for this guy. Let's do it. He will aggro me. Okay. Oh, Frank, what'd you think, man? Who was the DM? Frank, if I do another EverQuest RPG like D&D session, I want you to be in my party. For some reason, I want you to do it. What'd you guys do? Is it a one-shot or is it going to continue? Is it like a whole campaign you're doing, Frank? It can be a slog. So are you guys like actually going through the plot? Like, are you playing prominent characters in it? Or are you just in the world of Wheel of Time? You went with Stormlight? Either way, it's like not the wrong pick, right, Camdolph? Wheel of Time is the series that ended up being finished by a different author, though, right? Because of the untimely death of the primary author. And the length of the series itself. "14 books, 1,200 pages each. That is quite the undertaking." Oh, okay. Well, that's cool. You can change the way it goes. I like long books like that. Man, I really love the Game of Thrones books, but it almost puts a bad taste in my mouth to think about them now. Between the way the show ended and the fact that I've been waiting for the next book since 2011, 2012. No, definitely 2011. So yeah, for 9 years I've been waiting for the next book. There is no final season. That's the truth, man. Someone should throw an egg at D&D. Those guys who were the showrunners. Yeah, so Frank, is your session going to continue, or did you do like a one-shot? Man, the Jon Snow versus the Night King plotline could have been so good. The way they had it where like they had that stare down moment twice, and I was like so hyped. I was so ready for it. After the battle at Winterfell, I knew the show was going to be garbage the rest of the way. You know what I mean? Episode 3 of the final season. I was like, I had looked past the fact that season 6 and 7 were pretty mediocre, because I really loved the Battle of the Bastards, and even though all the characters suddenly became like brain dead in those seasons, most of it was still relatively good. And then 7, they were like time traveling all over the world. Okay, it's going to continue in 2 Saturdays. That's exactly what happened to us, Dwyer. Trolley and I watched Game of Thrones, man, like 3 times over the years as new seasons were coming out. And then after the final season, it ruined the entire series for me. I can't even enjoy season 1. I can't even enjoy like my favorite moments that I had already watched. That's how bad the final season was. Incredibly bad. Beyond trash. Can't even watch it. During this whole COVID thing where we were locked in our homes and stuff, I had to watch Tiger King. I couldn't watch Game of Thrones. Couldn't bring myself to do it. Yeah. Oof, indeed. Terrible. Nice. Well, hopefully they will release the books eventually, and it'll redeem the story a little bit. I'm content to just read what should have happened rather than watch it, though the visual experience was really great for seasons 1 through 5. All right, guys, we've been going for 3.5 hours here. It is a work night for me, so I'm going to have to start wrapping it up now. As always, I appreciate you guys coming out. Had a lot of fun. Today was obviously solo self-found hardcore. We did a lot of ancient croc, a little bit of grinding, almost made 31. In fact, we're probably about 1 kill away from level 31, so I'm sure I'll get it here in the next day or two. But my stream days are Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern every day. My next stream, Wednesday, will be Trolley and I duoing on P99 Green. As always, we are comfortable grouping with folks, so if you have a character around like 12 or like 17-ish, in that range, either of those ranges, feel free to come out. We're probably going to mess around in like Runny Eye or Gorge of King's Orb or maybe Permafrost if we're feeling like we really want to have a bad time. But yeah, we have a blast, and I'm always happy to see you guys here in chat and have you guys play with us and stuff. If you haven't already, check out our Discord. You can do !Discord in the chat to check it out. There you can always have conversations with us, work on your SSF characters, because it's a lot of fun and a great way to play the game. And our Discord is pretty much the best SSF resource in the world right now, probably, because it's a pretty small community and it's basically centered around that Discord. So check it out. Last thing, I will close with one last plug for the Champions of Norath stream. If you haven't already put your channel points towards the stream for today, go ahead and do so, please. If we get 500,000 points, Charlie and I will do our co-op gameplay run all on stream of Champions of Norath. It is a ton of fun. I cannot wait to stream it. Hopefully, if our community here can raise the number of points that we need. So anyway, appreciate you guys coming out. Talk to you later, Dino. Talk to you later, Moogle. Talk to you later, Camdolph, Wrecked, everybody. Frank, me and you, we got to get a D&D session going, because I'd love to have you in a D&D session too. And Slazik, good luck on that armor stuff. Let me know how it goes in our Discord, okay, man? Let's find someone to raid. It looks like there is some other person I've never seen stream EQ before, and he's got a stack of people here. So let's go raid him and say what's up. Great Sphinx. Let's jump in here and say hi, folks. Gilmere, good night. Thank you for coming out. All right, we are ready to raid. Let's roll.